Hello there. Tech issues on the last one. Something like that. I hope I sound okay. I'm gonna listen back to myself real quick. I think I figured out what was going on though. Let me listen. Yeah, that seems to be okay. There we go. So in order to make my let me back off here for a second. So in order to make the audio sound as good as possible, I use mostly analog. And oh wait, that was my Warcraft peasant talking. Very nice. In order to make my audio sound as good as I possibly can make it sound, or at least to my ear, I use mostly, almost entirely, in fact, analog setups. And that means I use a PV20. I had prior at least been using a Neumann TLM 103 microphone. Currently, I'm using a Warm Audio WA14. But in some instances, it's appropriate to use a little bit of a digital handshake because analog stuff is very quickly being phased out in a lot of regards. And so I would use a couple of what are called VST or VST2 plugins, which would help make the audio a little bit more digestible for people that are using a digital output, and for which of course is most people, but also for people who are listening through a not audiophiles device, a phone, a computer, right? And it looked like some of the VST2 plugins were getting in the way of the actual audio sounding good. I don't know why. So I turned those off and turned on a different thing. And I'm going to put that on. And we're going to see if that works. Maybe that'll sound good. I don't know. We'll try it. But yeah, more audio issues. Leave me alone. I don't want to do this. I'm not listening. Let me move over here. I was thinking about old films recently and realized how digital is used a lot in films these days. Digital is almost, digital is ubiquitous, and to some extent that's acceptable, but think about the things that digital doesn't do that analog did did better, or that so I'm going to talk in the world of microphones, okay? In the world of microphones, digital is almost always considered preferable. Analog is almost always considered preferable. If you think about old radiocasters and the like, you're going to think about people like Casey Kasem, and you're going to think about Johnny Carson if you're talking about these really deep voices that use these analog microphones. Casey Kasem used the Electro Voice RE20 dynamic microphone, which we still use to this day. He used the Neumann U87, which that's the industry standard in most practices for voice acting. It's just very... We still seek those things out. And I think that's okay. I think that's a good thing. We still use tube microphones with glass tubes in them because of how warm they sound without having to do a lot of digital tweaking, just how good they sound. The microphone that Freddie Mercury used when he was recording in the 70s with Queen, this microphone here is a copy of that microphone from the 1970s, and I wanted that warmth. Now, Freddie Mercury and I don't have anywhere near the same voice. Mercury's was a lot more sibilant and higher pitched, whereas mine's a little bit more mellow and a little bit more mid-lower pitched. But the warmth that it even gave his voice, which we would consider what's called a bright voice, is going to lend that to me in what is known as a dark voice. There's a whole lot of different things we do in audio. True. In fact, it's a bit like how Laurie Anderson, a musician and artist I may have mentioned it a few times, despises or despised MP3s and wants music and sound to sound as authentic and uncompressed as possible. Exactly. And it's impossible to do that with YouTube. You're always going to have some compression. There's going to be artifacting to that compression. But we even do, this is something that we do now that that people don't really realize, is you have a thing called, let me turn the music up just a smidge so it's not getting cut out by the suppressor. I'm just trying to keep it. If we can, hold on one second. There we go. Maybe that'll sound a little bit more. I wasn't sure if your voice was too. Your voice is still fine. Oh, thank you. I hope it's not cutting. I hope it's not cutting my voice out. We do a thing nowadays when you're recording an album where you take a microphone and you record just what the room sounds like. The little hisses and hums and whistles and things that naturally occur. It's called gathering room tone. And the reason we do that is because our ears naturally look for this tone. We don't realize it, but our ears naturally look for this tone. It's why a lot of people find lo-fi so pleasing, is we get that kind of scratching of a record, or a light hiss in the background, or something that kind of makes it feel like we're in a place, not in a void. And that's truly a big part of it. That's truly a very big part of audio and getting that. So, yeah, so I use a VST on occasion to kind of round things out and make it sound a little nicer, but I like to use these, like, again, I'm using technically a cheaper microphone than the one I normally use, just so I get a little bit more of that richness and that room tone and that artifacting, I guess I would call it. I think that's one of the best things, and so, but it's quite nice. It's quite nice. I was going to say, it has been a lucky week. I hope it's been good for you guys also. It has been a very lucky week. Sound, etc. Takes place in a void, you said. That's metaphysically fascinating. Or am I just half awake this morning? It could be metaphysically fascinating, although sound taking place in a void is, it's not necessarily an oxymoron, I wouldn't say, but at the same time, it's the difference between hearing... It's the difference between going in your room and hearing the fan and ruffling of carpet fibers and such, versus walking into a room which is completely sound treated and getting nothing out of it. And that's kind of it's kind of an unnatural thing in a lot of cases. But yeah. Yeah, I think that's I think that's a big... I don't know, I think that's a big deal. I think it's a big... There we go. I might, let's turn the music down just a smidge. There we go, that's not too bad. It's been kind of a lucky week, I think. I think it's been a really nice week. It's been kind of a lucky week. As I was making mention of prior, I have a PlayStation 5 in the retro room now, finally, after all of these years. One of the biggest things that I was trying to accomplish for me was, but if my fan is, if my fan is only turned on in the other room, does it mean I don't hear it? Oh wait, that's the riddle about the tree falling in the forest and no one there to hear it. Right, but the argument on that one is, the argument that they say is, does it make a sound? It's kind of like, if nobody is there to observe the planet, does it still exist? Because is existence the state of simply being, or is it the state of being able to observe that something is? Right? And I argue that observation is a good part of existence, because if nobody is there to observe it, then the existence of it is trivial. Yeah, they decided to drop that shamisen in there, and that really that really makes things difficult. PS5. Yeah, so I finally have gotten a PS5. I'm very happy about that. In the retro room. I got this PS5 for about $100. And that worked out really, really well. Huge thank you to Danielle. And it was just happenstance that it ended up working out this way. Ended up having there was I was in town working. I was in a town nearby me, a city nearby. I say nearby, it's at least an hour away, but I was in a city working, and there was an accident, vehicle accident, which blocked off a good portion of the road where I needed to go. Going around was a pain in the tail end. Would have taken 20 minutes minimum if they hadn't blocked the whole thing off, because it was a pretty big accident. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to stop in. I stopped in at a pawn shop where I get along very well with some of the people there, and most of the people there. And I've been in there a couple of times. And they had a PlayStation 5, and it was sold as is. They had it at $200, and it was sold as is. And basically they said, well, it doesn't work. It cuts out in the middle of playing. You play the game, and if a PS5 is in the retro room, does it mean it's called the retro room, or is it called something else? How could it take a PS5 to be... how long could it take for a PS5 to be considered retro? The majority of what I have in the room, and I would say 80% of the stuff I have in the room is still retro. But I think the consensus on a console is 2 generations, which averages out to about 14 years. So the PlayStation 5 will likely be retro by the time we hit about 2034, which is not that far away, by the way. So... not everything in the room is retro, because I want to be able to play new games that I have interests in, like Star Wars games and the like, but I'm also very interested in playing retro games. Obviously, I've played a lot of retro games here. I've played Sonic the Hedgehog, I've played Mario and DKC and all these other ones, and I intend to continue to play and mix those in, but I thought it was fun to... I also think it's fun to play, like Jedi Survivor is really, really good. I tested Hogwarts Legacy. I don't know much about Harry Potter, but I thought it might be fun to eventually play that game, and I have absolutely no idea. So it's like, wow. 2034, oh gosh, I feel old. Oh wait, my TARDIS landed in 2025. Never mind. Yeah, we're not there yet, but that's kind of about, yeah, because 14 years is generally when they consider it to start being retro. Now again, 80% of what I have in this room are Sega Genesis games, Nintendo, a ton of Intellivision, Atari, Coleco, etc. I have a lot of retro in here. But I do have some newer games, right? I have an Xbox Series X in here, and I have a PS5 now, which is newer. I don't have the Switch 2 in here. I am going to get a dock for it eventually to go in here, but for now I don't have one. You can get a Switch 2 dock from a third party for like $35, so I'm going to do that. I forgot how little you know of Harry Potter, especially when one stream of yours we tried to determine the characteristics and attributes of the 4 houses. Yeah, I don't know very much about it, so eventually that might be fun to play on the channel, just to kind of go through the little odds and ends. I do have little pieces and bits and bobs from it, but I don't know much about it. Pottermore some years ago sorted me into Ravenclaw, so I have actually done the Pottermore stuff. I don't know anything about it, but I had to do I had a friend that got married. This was 10 years ago, and I had a friend that got married, and the wedding was themed as Harry Potter, and in order for us to be able to attend, it was a requisite that you do the quizzes, and you had to wear the colors of the house that you were in. And so I do have my test, and I know what house I'm in. I don't know much about the house, but I do know what house I'm in. I wonder why the music keeps turning up. should try that. Because there's no change been made to the volume. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, so I do know what... Yep, yeah, that's the snake one, yeah. Slither, I guess it makes it slither, yeah, okay, yeah. The snake house, yep. So I have all of that. I know where I am in that regard, but beyond it, I have no idea. I don't know what Slytherin does. All I know is I wore a green suit with a silver tie to the. It may, but all of them are from the same. They are published by the same artist, and they're all on the same album. So it would mean that they would have had done a very shoddy job of mixing and mastering them. Hey Ash, how are you doing? As we said, just because you're in Slytherin doesn't mean you're evil. Oh, I am, but I appreciate that. That's one of the greatest things you'll realize the farther you you dive into the whole of philosophy, is that we are fundamentally evil, no matter how good we intend to be. We are fundamentally, there we go, egoistical. Not egoistical. We're prone to egoism. We'll say that. I'm all good. I think that's one of the things that kind of philosophy puts there. So humanity is evil and less evil. No, humanity is ubiquitously evil. It's just different areas in which we excel in our evils, right? It's like a human being, once they have the ability to do and in a direction, will oftentimes, almost entirely, use that direction for the furthering of their own self-interests and the self-interests of their family. And you could argue altruism is the combat to this, but equally, altruism is strictly the evil committed to yourself, not the evil in favor of or against the evil committed to other people. You're not doing a good by being altruistic. You're simply being evil to a different group of people. People deem the evil you do to yourself good because it's selfless, but selflessness isn't good. Selflessness is evil strictly to the self. That's generally how it is. Mind you, someone once said there is no such thing as good Doctor Who when asked about the episodes one dislikes, and it got me thinking, can one think of everyone as good versus less good? Or bad versus less bad? No such thing as bad Doctor Who, yeah. I mean, people do this. I think a lot of times I think people want to feel better about who they are, and I feel like that the terms good and evil and the way that we throw them around so haphazardly are... without really looking into it, are ways that we can feel better about the fact that we exist in the way that we've existed. Now, that having been said, I'm not stating that I know expressly every person's individual evils, but the argument would be, I guess, is it good versus less good or evil versus less evil? It's very, very, very unlikely that the existence of any singular human is not causing a detriment either planetary or on someone else, something else. Whereas the existence of other things have that nature, don't actually have that nature. There's not likely going to be an evil committed of a caterpillar, for example. Also, being able to differentiate between what is good and what is evil, and believing that we have the ability to justify actions in those camps, that realization alone gives us that issue of evil. Also, I accidentally referred to a Doctor Who episode as sentient when I said everyone. I really am half asleep. That's alright. Judging by the clips of the more recent Doctor Who, there's definitely good and bad Doctor Who. I believe that. But yeah, there's the philosophical rabbit hole oftentimes tells you that the existence of humans that we exist arbitrarily and oftentimes to the detriment of anything that exists in close proximity. So down to opinions. If someone dislikes episodes of Doctor Who, that's okay. If someone likes it, yeah, that's true. Entertainment, I mean, that's the thing about it. Entertainment is generally not of consequence. It's not really a big consequence to be. It's not really of consequence if you like or don't like entertainment, right? Certain types of entertainment. But yeah, I finally do have a PS5, which is really nice, in the retro room, which I haven't had up until recently. Again, I went into this this shop to avoid being in the way of the first responders when the vehicle accident had occurred, and we went in, we talked, they were selling it for $200 as is, said it shuts off automatically just while playing, frustrating, and they sold it for $200. It was supposed to not come with a controller, it was supposed to not come with a controller, and I picked it up and they said, oh, we don't actually have cables for it either. I was like, okay, so no HDMI cable, I'm gonna have to fix it. No HDMI cable, no controller, I was able to talk him down, got out of there for about $100, and if you like the new Doctor Who, you're entitled to your yeah, I mean, you can also have a very strong opinion on another person's opinion on that, but I agree the writing more recently seems to be slapdash, to say the least, so. Well, opinions are truly mental, right? Existing in the head, or are they a simulation from making from the AI making the virtual? That's simulation theory, which is an interesting theory. I don't believe in it, but it's an interesting one. But yeah, I was able to do that. I was able to take the thing apart and clean it out. Usually when it shuts off in the middle of it, it's because it's overheating. I was able to clean it out. I was able to clean out the radiator and clean off the oxidation from the heatsink and from the CPU, and put liquid metal on it, get the liquid metal. One of the things that I'm going to say, if you own a PS5, and you could say, oh, well, I've had a PS5 since launch and it didn't do this. It will eventually do this. I have now seen this, having had to fix a few of these. Lay it on its side. Don't stand it up. Gravity will eventually get a hold of that liquid metal, and it'll eventually have the heatsink directly touching the CPU. It'll overheat, and it'll shut it down in the middle of a... it'll start shutting itself down in the middle of a play session. If you lay it sideways, it's less likely for that liquid metal to slip. Retro has an opinion on opinions. That's fascinating, philosophically speaking. Well, you don't have to have an opinion. We don't have to have an opinion on everything, but to have an opinion on opinions, sure. I think we all do, right? You have the minute that somebody gets into a debate with you and gives their opinion, and you disagree on that opinion, then do you not by default have an opinion on their opinion, which is to have an opinion on opinions? I think that's the natural state of debate. I feel like Vidya is going to disappear one day, and me and Retro will randomly run into him in a drug-fueled road trip in Mexico, where he becomes some peace-loving monk. Could be. Well, my PS5 has to be horizontal. No room about my setup to place it vertically. Perfect. It's going to last longer that way, I'm pretty darn sure, because the heatsink, what I keep finding is that the heatsink, the liquid metal that's on the heatsink and on the CPU, almost always comes off. But gravity, it starts to leak down, and eventually you just have the heatsink touching directly to the CPU, which is not good. So good that yours is laying down horizontally. Yours should last a lot longer. Luckily, the PlayStation 5 is very easy to take apart and fix and put back together, which is very contrary to the PS3, where they were literally 20 years ago. That was a nightmare. Have you bought Astro? Yeah, Peace Loving Monk? Unfortunately, I haven't. I don't game much these days, though. I have actually really gotten into Lies of P. Very nice. Only played it for 2 to 3 hours. Disappointing. I'll allow it, though. Yeah, I was able to fix my PlayStation 5, or this PlayStation 5. So I got this beautiful red, kind of deep red controller. I traded in my PlayStation 4 towards kind controller in the video game. Astrobot was not there. That would have been the video game I traded it for, but they instead gave me the newest installment in the Final Fantasy VII remake, as well as the beautiful, brand new red controller. PlayStation 4s around here only sell for about $110, $120, so the fact that he gave me stuff that was worth easily almost $100, I'm not too unhappy about. I mean, he gave me, I'd say, 80% of what he was going to be able to resell it for, so he's only making about a 20% profit. That's not bad. So, yeah, I ended up with that. There are a lot of games that are exclusive to the PS5, or games that I have only on PS5 that I'd like to play here, including specifically bad games. Dragon Age the Veilguard being one of them, Forspoken being another one. I'd really like to play those eventually, just because I think that they are terrible. I might be interested in playing games like The Last of Us, and certainly Astrobot when it eventually comes out. Did your PS5 have Astro Playroom on it already? I don't know. Maybe. I wiped it clean and put my stuff on it, and I haven't really... The only game that is on it currently was the test game, which was the Harry Potter one. And it was just because I pulled that out of the pile. I could have just as easily pulled Metaphor Refantatio out, but I didn't do that. Returnal and Astrobot are system sellers. I haven't played Astrobot just because I can't bleeding find it, but Returnal is fantastic. I do have that. So like I said, I'm happy to have a PlayStation 5 back here after all this time. I just, with tariffs being what they are here now, it's very difficult to get a PlayStation 5 for a reasonable price. Even at a pawn shop, it is very difficult to get a PlayStation 5 for a reasonable price. Pawn shops, you're going to be buying secondhand ones, which are probably still filthy, just happen to work right now, and you're going to spend $450 on a used one, because the new ones are between $500 and $850. So it's like, and that goes up to Pro, of course. So it's like, man. Random thought, you play Hogwarts Legacy, you don't get sorted into Slytherin, and you rage quit so hard you turn the stream off. I don't, well, so a couple of things. Number one is, but I'm Slytherin. Number one is I don't care how it wants to sort me, but I believe, because I have my account linked to that particular Pottermore thing, just because I had to take that test, I think it automatically puts me there. I think it automatically takes everything that I did and puts it in the game. We did that because there was paid DLC that you got for free if you linked it, so I don't want to pay for the DLC, so I thought, okay, well, let me do that. Yeah, I mean, I don't get angry very easily, so that'd be interesting. We also found another lucky thing. I found a Count Dooku Gentle Giant polystone statue, which is normally pretty kind of pricey in most places you look, not every place. I was able to find for like $26 or something like that, so that was really cool too. Better sort me into the superior group. That'd be good. I mean, it sorts you. I don't know how exactly it does that, but it questions parts of that. It's like, I've extremely. Let's see. Pottermore sorted me into Ravenclaw, and I didn't connect it to HL. And that game sorted me into Hufflepuff, possibly based more on pleasantries. Okay. I don't know, again, I don't know. I know the colors. I know the colors because I have the Theory 11 decks of cards, right? So I know that the colors are the main colors. I don't know the accent colors, but I know that the colors are red, green, yellow, blue, because that's the deck. Those are the decks of cards I have from Theory 11. So I know that. Which ones are which, I don't really know. I know the green one because that's the one I had to dress for the wedding, but I don't exactly know what the other ones are. I think I know the right ones. I think the Raven one is blue. I think the Hufflepuff Ravenclaw. There it is. I see it. Ravenclaw is blue. Hufflepuff is yellow, I think. And then the other one, mine's green. That means the last one, I can't remember the last one, but the last one is red. I think that's right. So I know that, or at least I think I do. And you're going to come back and be like, well, all of those are wrong, actually. But I don't know a ton about it. I will say the other thing I know, and I don't know specifics, there's when I one of the things I really liked is there was a wood turning channel, and he makes I guess the wands. And I don't know anything about that, but I love watching wood turners make bowls and spoons, and the little wands are all so unique and different that watching a wood turner make something like that was really cool. So I do watch a wood turning channel that is like, hey, I'm going to make a wand that has these unique characteristics out of this exotic wood. I mean, you can't, like, I'm not going to sit there and I don't know anything about, like, the wands exactly. I know he makes them, though. I watch him hand turn them, and then he, like, takes the back end off and drills a hole, and then he takes what looks like a peacock feather, and he takes a strand off the peacock feather, tucks it into the tail, and then he corks the end off, and then finishes and sands it. I think that's kind of interesting. I don't know if that's just his signature style or whatever, but it's very, very cool to watch. If you've never watched a wood turner make something really cool, bowls, or I've watched somebody make a bowl out of like colored pencils and resin and stuff. If you've never watched wood turning or something very similar to that, I highly recommend it. It's very, very, very cathartic, very fun to watch. Yep, yellow. One of my online friends is a proud Hufflepuff and loves the color yellow. Yeah, yellow is one of my least favorite colors. That name also sounds very delicate, and a lot more delicate than I am. I don't know what it means, but it makes you feel like cotton candy or candy floss, whichever you prefer. And that's just not the type of exterior that I am. The wand chooses the retro room, Mr. Potter. And I think we can expect Patronum, this stream to be Expelliarmus. I mean, Alohomar. How do you say these things? Alohomorarid? No, that can't be right. Alohomarared? I don't know how to say that. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. O Patronum Pantronum sounds Latin to me. Huh. Those are some weird words. I mean, they're cool, but I don't know what they are. Reviews don't matter, and I understand the original was reviewed by a different person, but IGN gave the original Yooka-Laylee a 7 out of 10, but Yooka-Replay a 5 out of 10. I saw that because it kept bombarding my feed. And the argument they said, I guess a lot of stuff was cut out that didn't lend way to the story, but I don't care. I'm still going to get Yooka-Replay. I don't care. Yooka-Laylee was a great game. I was talking on another Discord server about reviews and opinions recently, and we agreed it didn't make any sense that Yooka-Laylee got 5. But this IGN we're talking... That's true. That's very true. Hufflepuff sounds like... it kind of does. I can see that. IGN scores cannot do the Cuphead tutorial. The online review stuff makes no sense. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I remember. Retro cannot pronounce the Harry Potter spells. Whoops, sorry about that. I don't know what they are. So, no, I cannot. I cannot. They're not words I'm familiar with. It's very cool. They're very cool that there are other words. I don't know what they are. The reviewer kept saying, just play Astro or DK, and it's a ridiculous point. DK and Astro, I haven't played Astrobot. DK is not like a lot of other platformers, I don't think. So I kind of have to wonder about that a little bit. Like, what are we getting out of that? But also, why would you want to... I mean, you're saying that, but like, you want a Banjo-Kazooie style game, and Yooka-Laylee does a lot better at being a Banjo-Kazooie style game than DK. DK's a great game. I'm not gonna lie. The DK Bonanza is fantastic, and I have passed it, and it is wonderful, and I love it, right? And there's much more to still do, even though I've passed the story. But that having been said, it is definitely not the same experience as Yooka-Laylee was. Therefore, I doubt very highly that Yooka-Replay is also. We talked about a little bit, I think, also on favorite games. Ash, you posted your Yooka-Laylee is still a collectathon like Astro and DK, right? Then again, I just want a fun collectathon or no. That's fair. I like the original Yuka, and I've really been enjoying Replayly so far. Yeah, I mean, I think if it's just a better graphics version, then why would that be a problem, you know? We talked about, let me put this up here. We talked about favorite games, top X games. I wanted to go ahead and go through my list. I don't know how to make the list like you did, Ash, but you made top 30, and it made me... I have not played DK Bonanza. You need to play DK Bonanza if you get time and you enjoy collect-a-thon style games. It's a lot of fun, but no pressure and no rush. It is a lot of fun, though. Did you see me objectively correct? Did you see me my objectively correct top 30 games? Yeah. I saw your top 30s game list. Objectively correct. No, you had a very strong list. I want to take a look actually at it because I want to see some of them I haven't played. Maybe they are. Let's see here if I can find it. Boop. I gotta pull it up really quickly. So give me 1 second. You objectively corrected a top. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so top 30 games from Ash. You have a really good list. I will say that. You have a very good list. We have Resident Evil 4, which is a phenomenal choice. BioShock, great choice. Time Splitters, Shovel Knight, Soul Calibur. Returnal, Doom, 2016. Streets of Rage 2, Banjo-Kazooie, and Prey. Super Mario 64, Silent Hill 2 Classic. Mortal Kombat 2, Uncharted 2, Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2... Uncharted 2 is great. Borderlands 2 and Uncharted 2 for me are a little shakier. They're good, though. I don't know why Mario 64 is worded the way it is. Those are great titles, and I'm not telling you you're right or wrong. These are your 30 titles, but I'm talking about my own belief with the game. I think those are both fantastic games. I don't think they wouldn't make my top. Astrobot I haven't tried yet. Resident Evil 2 is great. Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Mario World, Destroy All Humans. Destroy All Humans probably wouldn't hit mine either. Sleeping Dogs I love. It's not in my top 30, but it is great. Dead Space also love. Not my top 30. Crash and Kina are both really good. They're not in my top 30. God of War. I like God of War. I actually thought Ragnarok was better. So if I were gonna make, the God of War game in my top, if I were gonna put a God of War in my top 30, it'll be Ragnarok. Because I think Ragnarok did it better, in my opinion. But then again, Ghost of Tsushima, fantastic choice. Tekken 3, wonderful choice. Crash Team Racing, Streets of Rage 4, and Vice. I mean, that's a great list. While I may not agree with it wholeheartedly, that is a fantastic list. That is a great list. Super Mario 64, PSP, PSP of PC is a phenomenal game. Unfortunately, it makes No Coins Challenge too easy, though, so I go back to the original. Fair. I have many issues with Borderlands 2, but it's such a special game. Borderlands 2 is a great game. The Borderlands games are great. Borderlands 2 is a game that I have that I think is a great game, but I have a special hatred for. And I'm going to explain why. So, when Borderlands 2 was I believe this was when Borderlands 2 was coming out. Could be wrong, maybe Borderlands 1. But I believe it was Borderlands 2 was coming out. The company Gearbox stole that money. In the most legal, quote-unquote, fashion, which is that they got away with it. They stole that money, basically. Or, I'll say allegedly, because technically they were not found guilty of it, but based upon my understanding, had I made that judgment, I would have probably said they had. And that really annoyed me, because the game that it was going to go towards was a game that I actually was interested in, that did not end up being a very good game. Because they used what little money they did not use on their own project to outsource it. Like I said, once it gets past the top 5, it's basically random placement depending on the day. That's fair. I guess Crash 3 is my favorite Crash game too. That's pretty, yeah. I think, so here's mine. Here's what mine would look like, and give or take, in the same way that Ash says, because I think he's completely correct about this. We just, after top 5. I'd say Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic and is number 1. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is number 2 for me, and those are very close. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble is 3, Banjo-Kazooie is 4, Super Mario World is 5 for me. Randy's a terrible person too. I don't like him at all, and I feel like he even holds back more success for board. Oh yeah. They stole money from Sega. Again, I'm saying allegedly, but they got away with it again, so I can't say anything. But they basically used money. The way that I understand it is they used money that was originally intended for something else to make Borderlands 2. It was intended for Aliens Colonial Marine, which I would have really loved to have seen come to fruition in the way that they had intended. But instead, it got used. Most of that money was supposedly used on Borderlands 2, and Aliens Colonial Marine was outsourced to like 8 different studios that were all doing little bits and pieces and couldn't communicate well with each other. Very disappointing. In the Top Game Showcase, you said, paraphrasing, the game in the number 2 slot is Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, that's shifted as I've looked at it more and more. That's shifted down for me a little bit, and here's why. Part of it is where in life I was and what those games did to get me through it. KOTOR is very special to me because when I was playing KOTOR, I was remarkably sick. I was in the hospital a lot, and KOTOR was kind of the only good thing that I had going for me at that time. I remember I took my Xbox up to the hospital, and I was constantly in the hospital, and they actually, the time I had to go in again, like the 3rd or 4th time, they actually wheeled in their own Xbox. They called me ahead of time. I was like, don't worry about it. They wheeled in their own Xbox and said, just bring the copy of the game you want. And they even had an extra copy because they thought they just had worried they hadn't gotten it right. And I lay there at that time, unable to eat or to sleep or to drink, really, do anything, listening to the music from Auto City and Manon, and playing, when I felt up to it, the parts of the game that really are special to me, like finding Jolie and Kashyyyk, and so that game's so important. The Witcher was kind of like that for me also. I had a huge stint with being sick, again, because it's a chronic condition. And The Witcher 3 was what had helped pull me through it this other time. So that moved up. And then Donkey Kong Country 3 and Banjo-Kazooie they could easily be 3-4 interchangeable. But I do find myself going to Donkey Kong Country more than Banjo-Kazooie because there are areas in Donkey Kong Country in Banjo-Kazooie that do frustrate me. I'm not a huge fan of some parts of Banjo-Kazooie, whereas in Donkey Kong Country, I don't have as many of those that I'm not a big fan of. And to give you an example, I don't like I don't like almost the whole world of Click Clock Wood. That it really, that bothers me. That's okay. Game preferences sort of change. They do. Dr. House has decided to cure the rare disease he diagnosed. Just play KOTOR. Plus, House likes video games. That'd be cool. Yeah, KOTOR was special to me in that way, and I recognize that it's not a perfect game. It is a 10 out of 10 game, insofar as I can give a 10 out of 10, but it isn't. I get no game is perfect. Witcher is also a 10 out of 10 game for me. It's so much fun. I will play Witcher on this channel eventually because of how much I absolutely love it. I've already played KOTOR, and I really want to play KOTOR 2 through and give it an actual fair shot, which I didn't do last time. I was kind of a little lazy and just kind of threw it out there. I really want to play through it, so I might give KOTOR 2 a reshot. Doom 2016 used to be in my top 5 too, ever since revisiting Time Splitter's Future Perfect. I genuinely believe that it is a near-perfect FPS. It never gets old. I'm always revisiting. I agree with you. I think Time Splitters is I think Future Perfect is superior to Doom. I completely agree with you there. Time Splitters has also just got a great sense of humor about itself. Doom is cool, but Time Splitters has got a wonderful sense of humor about itself. The Nintendo reviewer reviewed Time Splitter's Future Perfect, from what I recall. Really liked the level editor. Yeah. I still play the multiplayer against bots, and it's more fun than any actual multiplayer of today. Yeah. 10 out of 10 reviews. Where am I now? IGN. Very well done, Vinny. So that's why Banjo kind of fell a couple of spaces for me. Witcher, the more I play Witcher, the more I realize that Witcher is a work of art. It really is. Is it for everybody? Like any art? No, it's not. it can be overwhelming, and it can kind of try to inundate you with a bunch of things ahead of the curve, and you don't, that I get. But for me, it is a really, really, really good game. Time Splitters gets me. Yeah, Time Splitters has got a great sense. It's timeless sense of humor. Speaking of Harry Potter, I randomly was gifted. So when I went to the wedding, I was just side note before I get into my 6 through 30. I was when I went to the wedding. One of the things I will say, I was gifted a few wands from a friend when I bought the console. So I actually do have some Harry Potter wands. That I was just given literally the other day. I've had one since the wedding. We were all given a wand, based on, I don't know what he based it on. Honestly, I can't tell you, and I don't know what the wands are. But I was gifted when I got the PS5. When I went and visited my buddy, I did also get the Hogwarts Legacy copy for free. So, and I was gifted 2 wands that they were going to sell originally but never moved, and so apparently I do have some wands. I don't know anything about them. But they're kind of, they're very fun to poke at things, and I do poke them. The reason I made mention is I used it to poke the mute button because I just sneezed. I used it to poke my mute button. So, I have 3 though. And I don't know what they are, but I don't know what they are, but they're really cool, and they're very fun to twirl and twiddle around, so. Yeah. Okay. In your opinion, can people who have not read The Witcher enjoy the games? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'd argue... Let me go back to the list real quick, yeah. I would argue that a lot of people... The games might be a better introduction to the world than the books, although the books do cover a lot more. And I think that if you find, I think the games medium is easier for people to get involved in than the books medium. But he did just come out with a new book again, September 30th, Crossroad of Ravens, really good. So look at my list again. Too, Super Mario World would definitely be 31. Yeah, I do love Super Mario. Super Mario World for me is number 5. Not World. World is there. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know what you were gonna put in its place because you've got World at number 19. If I'm reading this from left to right, it's number 19. I meant Mario 3. Oh, okay, yeah. Ignore me. No, you're fine. No worries. I was confused for a moment because World just got a reasonable position. That'd be 31. Oh. Crash 4 is amazing too. Crash 4 might be the best game in the franchise. I just prefer 3 overall. Witcher definitely has many fans who joined with Witcher 3. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think the Witcher. I think the games are an easier medium to get involved in, and then I think that the books are fun. If you find yourself enjoying it, I think that the books are very much the natural continuation of that. But the books are really well written, very, very good. I highly recommend them. The Witcher Bros 3. Can't believe Crash 5 was canceled. It's just no shocker, I guess, all things considered. I'll go ahead and go through the rest of mine, then I'll go to 30. I did go to 30 on this. Number 6 is Star Wars KOTOR 2. I love KOTOR, and KOTOR 2. KOTOR 2 is, again, it's more philosophy. It's more philosophically based. Kreia is one of the most brilliant philosophers that has ever been in a video game that isn't expressly about philosophy. I would argue that listening to Kreia's philosophy makes you a better philosopher, because it is actually pulling, it's not just pulling from the pseudosciences of the Force, it's actually pulling from real-life philosophy and making a lot of it much more digestible without watering it down. I really, really, really like it on multiple fronts. The music is great, the gameplay is phenomenal, and then I love the characters, and Kreia is a great example of that. Number 7 is Banjo-Tooie. Number 8 is Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. Number 9 is Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest. And number 10 is Super Mario Bros. 3 for me. So in my top 10. The Witcher Bros 3 is a crossover between Super Mario Bros. And The Witcher 3, you know. That would not go well for any Goomba or Bowser. Like, they would be done in seconds. I like Skellige. Is that what it's called? Amazing soundtrack there. Skellige, yeah. Ard Skellige is probably one of the best songs in the game. I think Kaer Morhen gets me a little more, but I think Skellige's got the most popular music. Yeah, Skellige, and there's one called I'm going to spell it Spikeroog. It looks like it would be pronounced Spike-Roog. It's Spikerog, but it has a great theme there, too. Yeah, the music of The Witcher 3. I've got it. Ash, if you don't have it, man, I own them. I have the right to send them. I'm going to send you the soundtracks. The Blood and Wine intro is amazing. Video, if you want them too, I'll send them to you. They are so good. I'll see if I can. I think I can gift them. I think I can send them as a gift. Did Raymond get another game? I've lost count. Plus, Bubsy got another game recently. Seriously, we don't get Banjo or Crash or probably even Spyro, but still. But we get Bubsy, who nobody. I never wanted to see Bubsy after the first time I saw him. I never wanted to see him again, and then we saw him again. And they've just added Bubsy to the Super Nintendo add-on on Switch, which is annoying because I hate Bubsy. I hate him. So anyway. Let's see. Nothing new for Raymond since Legend yet. Not Skellig, a track by Lorena McKennitt. No, Ard Skellig is, the whole soundtrack is done by a guy named Marcin Przybylewicz, I think. Very Polish name, but I believe the whole thing is done by him. Banjo is absolutely insane. I guess fans have been hoping for a new Rayman game. Koopas and Goombas would make for interesting monsters if philosophical themes of The Witcher are any indication. I need to play... Oh, Blood and Wine. Oh, my good... Here's the thing. Not only is Blood and Wine great, but also Hearts of Stone is really, really good. And the themes for Hearts of Stone and for Blood and Wine are both amazing. The characters that get introduced are so... I mean, I can't say enough good about The Witcher 3's DLCs. Witcher 3 on the whole, but also the Witcher 3 DLCs are absolutely amazing. And they introduce entirely new soundtracks that are unique to them, and those are also amazing. Like, when I say the game is a 10 out of 10, I'm not just jumping on the bandwagon. I have looked at every little aspect. The music, I listen to the soundtracks constantly. I have them on my phone. I don't like listening to things on playlists, so everything is downloaded onto my phone. I'm probably going to actually just get a dedicated MP3 player again and put all my music on that and keep that with me. Because I like all of my stuff to be on my device. But I listen to the Witcher 3 soundtracks constantly. I've played them constantly. I go to them constantly. I literally wear a Witcher medallion and have worn a Witcher medallion for every day for almost the past 15 years. Like, The Witcher means a lot to me in a lot of ways, all the way around, and the game is no exception. So, one of my old Australian gaming magazines called Hyper Magazine did a top 25 worst mascots list. Bubsy got ranked number 1. Sounds deserving to you, Retro. Oh yeah, I do not like Bubsy at all. Bubsy deserves the number 1. Astro, yeah, absolutely. And I wish I would pay to see the fight too. Super Smash Bros. Put Astro and Bubsy on stage. Oh yeah, I'd pay to watch that. All right, let me go through it. So I'm number 10. Number 11 is Pitfall, the classic one for the Atari 2600. That was one of my favorite games growing up. And along with a lot of other games for the Atari 2600, nothing ever stuck with me as much as Pitfall did. I love Asteroids and Centipede, and I played a ton of them. Pac-Man for that system sucks, so don't play that there. I'd rather play the NES version, or the arcade version, or the new large LED versions that actually have come out in recent years are my favorite. My daughter and I will literally, we will sit there and play that. I think we sat there and played that earlier this year. We went and sat and played one for like 2 hours. Just her and I teaming up on Pac-Man, on giant Pac-Man, and it was amazing. She's also a retro gamer, so. Gerard of Roberto is a great character. River Raid's good. River Raid is very good. Gerald of Roberto. Geralt of Rivia. He's not actually from Rivia, though. You learn that when you read the books. And I don't think they make the reference in the. I don't think they make the reference of that in the game, but. Adventure's also really good. That's another really. Adventure is really, really good. There's a lot of really good ones for that. But it doesn't go to... Pitfall is top 20 because that one has to... Again, I have my copy. I'm looking at my copy. It's in the retro room. I also have my copies of ET. I have my copy that wasn't in the landfill, and I have my copy that was in the landfill. And I'm looking at the copy that wasn't in the landfill because, yeah. Geralt versus Gerald. I'd like to see that. Wait, who's Gerald? Douglas of Cockle. You know, it's that's okay. Yeah, you got it. Doug Cockle. Doug Cockle, for anybody who isn't familiar with it, which is very well done. Doug Cockle is the voice actor for Geralt in the games, and who gives Geralt the inarguably very iconic voice. I do also recommend, I mean, I have the physical books and I've read the physical books, but I do also recommend if you get the audiobooks, if you're more of an audiobook person, the guy that reads the books is a narrator named Peter Kenny, and he does a really good job also of the voices and such. I highly recommend that. Random question based on something I saw on Discord. What is What the Dub? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I'm aware. Yeah, I would say that. Well, I did it, and I read it, and I was like, oh, yeah, no, that was you being clever. That was me being a doofus. So no, I'm for other people who aren't aware. That was, but yeah, you're spot on. You were ahead of me. You moved your piece ahead of me. Witcher of video. Oh wait, that's me. You could. I mean, the Witchers kind of work similarly, I guess. You said Harry Potter sorting, right? It's kind of similar to that, I guess. I'm going to use that because my understanding is in the Harry Potter, you get sorted to one of those, like you said. It's kind of the same thing. When you're a kid, if you have a specific amount of aptitude, you might be taken in by a school of the Witcher, and there are different schools. In the book, there are really only 3 that are kind of mentioned. There's actually, in Crossroad of Ravens, they may have hinted to canonizing the Order of the Snake. But basically, each one is designed to kill in a different way, or focuses on killing differently. The wolves are balanced. The bears are they're taught more sword technique and strength and overwhelming the opponent. The snake are specifically meant to pursue and have knowledge on the wild hunt, which are really, really cool elven evil trekkers, basically. You have the Order of the Griffin, which are more focused on signs and magic. You have the Order of the Cat, which are more focused, and most of them are actually mercenaries. The house is kind of defunct, and most of them are focused on thievery and quick kills and stuff like that. So it's very much in that way. Those who choose to pronounce Alucard backwards are forever cursed. Those I meant. No, we got it. My fat thumbs today. No, you're good. It's the same sound, technically, right? I interpret this, What the Dub, as a game where you dub lines or something in a funny way. That's really cool. I mean those. I have one question. What are those? I think I understand that meme. Alright, I'll keep going through my list what you guys had. Number 12 is Chrono Trigger. I love Chrono Trigger. I had given my copy before I realized it was going to be rare. Years and years ago, I'd given my copy away. And my wife, about 6 years ago, bought me another copy. Before it went up to like $150. She bought it when it was still like $70. I have checked it. It is a genuine copy. We are good. But I love Chrono Trigger. And I don't regret giving the original one away because it was to somebody who didn't know how awesome Chrono Trigger was. I was brought up to speed on some of the stuff I didn't pay attention to in my original playthroughs by a guy named Tyson, who was a friend of mine for a long time, and he kind of encouraged that I go back and look at it again, and I did and loved it, so that was a long time ago. I like Chrono Trigger. Yeah, you've played it on your stream. I was there. If you ever decided to pick it back up for the fun of it and stream, I'm happily there with you again. I'm not here to backseat game. I just enjoyed watching you play it. Never said you liked anything on my list. Favoritism. Number 13 is a weird one. It's Conquests of the Longbow by Sierra Online. For anybody who isn't familiar with it, it was a point-and-click Robin Hood adventure game. It's really good. If you're into point-and-click adventure games, I think this is about as good of a point-and-click adventure game as you can get. And I absolutely love it. So I highly, highly recommend it. It is not voice-acted, but it is everything else about it is really, really well done. you can fail everywhere and still get some kind of an ending. It's got 4 different endings. It's a really, really cool game. I think Conquest of the Longbow should be in any point-and-click adventure games game cabinet. Mike Tyson, good friend of mine. What was it the game goes, I'm gonna destroy your life. I like Mike Tyson. I think I'm sad to see that he kind of put the fight with Jake Paul to the side a little bit. But when you're making $20 million to just kind of go there and hand over the gauntlet, I get it. $20 million keeps your family good for a long time. According to Wikipedia, the What the Dub gameplay consists of players writing their own lines of dialogue for clips from a public domain, from public domain, B movies, PSAs, and industrial films. After the line is played back using text-to-speech, the players then choose which line is the best. Between 2 and 6 players can play in a game, and up to 12 audience members can watch and vote on the best lines per game. I need to take a look into that. It sounds a lot like Jackbox Party, which I think was a lot. We've done Jackbox Party on the channel before. It was a lot of fun, so I think we should do that. Wikipedia's fault. That's all right. Probably citation that links down below on the bottom of the page. I finally watched Throbbing Hood Dropped Tights. It was intense. Some good action, though. I had to download it from a weird website, though. I'd never seen any Robin Hoods before that. Yeah, I think you got the wrong one. I think you... God. Good God. Oh, hey, Fighting Max. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. We're talking about top 30 games, and I was so proud that I'd finally gotten a PlayStation 5 for the retro room so I can play. I was so happy. I found one for about $100 that I had to fix it, but so now I can play PS5 games back here, and then I'm going to buy a $35 dock so I can put the Switch 2 back here, because I would love to play Omori on the channel, and I kind of really am happy about getting to do some of this stuff, so I'm really excited about that. We're going through the top 30 games, though. Ash had shared his list, and then I'm sharing mine here because I don't know how to make lists like he made his. I don't know how he did that, so that's just me. You can eat that lettuce. I'm good. Number 14 for me is Final Fantasy 3. Or 6, whichever one. It's that one. It's that Final Fantasy. It's not 7. 15 is King's Quest V. Absence makes the heart go yonder. I think that's my favorite of the King's Quest, even though 6 is a better King's Quest game. I like 5 better. Coffee Talk is number 16. I think Coffee Talk is a game that I've talked about so many times on the channel. I love the music. It's just a relaxing kind of visual novel. And I think that anybody that's just kind of wanting to play a game to decompress and de-stress and not worry about things, I think should have Coffee Talk in their game library also. I recommend the GOG version because you can own it, or they do make it on cartridge if you happen to want it on Switch. I have it on GOG because I don't want Switch cartridges to go obsolete or whatever. The most recent game I got was Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii. I've had the first one for a long time, but I've never played the second one before. I think the second one is considered widely, even as good as the first one is, I think the second one's even widely considered better. They did just re-release it for the Switch also. So fantastic choice in game right there, too. I think it's really good. 3 is in 6? Oh, okay. I thought you meant NES Final Fantasy. No. 3 is in 6. This guy's sick. Wait, that's Final Fantasy VII. I do like Final Fantasy VII, but I think it's way overhyped. And I honestly think that the newer version that came out on PlayStation 4 and 5 is superior in a lot of regards to the old one. I think we romanticize the old one a little much. We do that with 3 also, but I don't think any of the remakes of 3 have done, apart from the Pixel remaster, have done anything that revolutionizes it. Number 17 is Sonic the Hedgehog. I love Sonic the Hedgehog. It's the first game. I don't think the second and third game are better. I know everybody else does. I don't. I think the first game was fine. Number 18 is Contra 3: The Alien Wars, my favorite of the Contra franchise. Number 19 is Snowboard Kids. Yeah, that's right. Number 19, Snowboard Kids. If you've never played, you had to be there, but if you've never played Snowboard Kids, it is one of the better Atlas games out there. Number 20 is Diddy Kong Racing. So I have my Atlas game, and then I have my Rare game, and Diddy Kong Racing is amazing. 21 is Star Wars Jedi Knight 2 Jedi Outcast. I've played a full playthrough on the channel. I think it was like 10 episodes long. Still love that game. Number 22 is Castlevania Order of Ecclesia. The only other Castlevania game I think that makes an appearance on my list. Dracula's Curse is about 10 spaces higher. It's a little more than 10 spaces higher, but I think Order of Ecclesia is the one I go back to the most next. Number 23 is Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Number 24 is Resident Evil Village. I like Village more than I like 4. I know that's an unpopular one, but I do. Number 25 is Castle Wolfenstein, the original. Number 26 is Silent Hill Shattered Memories. I know everybody loves 2, and 2 is great. I like Shattered Memories better. I know this is unpopular, by the way. So, like, I'm not telling anybody this is objective, but I like these. Number 27 is Felix the Cat for the NES. It's one of my favorite. I remember renting it back in the day when NES games were still rented. Just because I was a big fan of the Felix the Cat cartoons and such, and I love the game, and I still do, and I still have a cartridge. Number 28 is Baldur's Gate 3. Felix the Cat, a game you can pass in 20 minutes versus Baldur's Gate 3, one of the best games, but it takes you, it's like, I like it. Number 29 is God of War Ragnarok. I think they did it better than 2018. I get where other people might disagree. And then number 30 is Metaphor Refantasio, or Refantasio, as a lot of people say. The order may not be perfect, but that's kind of how I feel. The top 30 games right now. And things may change. New games may come out and make it better and make the list and push other ones out of there. I don't think Metaphor will be the first one to get pushed out, because I love Atlas. I really love Atlas. Ones that are more likely to get pushed out more quickly, I think, are going to be like... Even though I have Metaphor lower on the list, I feel like it's going to work. As I've been playing it, it's been kind of growing on me more. I think it's going to go up, but we'll see. It's kind of made sense in my showcase that Final Fantasy VII appeared to be the top rated. A lot of people love it. I think a lot of people grew up with it and they romanticized it. I didn't. So, but I think 7's great. I love it. It's just not. Nintendo, where's Diddy Kong Racing on NSO? And Snowboard Kids. Yeah, I got those. Those are in my list. I've got them. I actually have both of those games complete in box. They're behind me on my shelf. On my left here. I have those complete in box. I love them that much. I also have Conker's Bad Fur Day complete in box, so take that for what you will. It's hard to compile my top 30 favorite games, but I think Undertale, Minecraft, Hollow Knight, A Hat in Time, Super Mario 64, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Odyssey. That's a good list. I mean, that's a hard to argue with list in terms of just good games overall. Undertale is fantastic. Minecraft persists to this day. Hollow Knight is incredibly fun. A Hat in Time, I really enjoyed my time with it. Definitely a challenging game, more so than I thought it was going to be, which is really nice. Super Mario 64, of course, I played that when it launched, and still think it's one of the best games on that console, although it isn't my favorite. Super Mario Galaxy, I do love. And Super Mario Odyssey, I adore, so especially considering that the formula was borrowed with Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I think is great. So I should do an updated top 30s game, even if it's mostly from memories just posted on Disney. Yeah, I mean, put yours up here next to Ash's. I'll find a way to put mine up there. I don't know how to do it, but I'll figure it out. I'd be happy to. Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, Hollow Cure, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate have to be on that list. Lego Pirates is pretty fun. I think of the Lego games, I still enjoy the Star Wars ones, but that's my bias, obviously. So, Hollow Cure, I don't know if I'm familiar with. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, absolutely. That's not the definitive list. I'd like to. I have to think of more games I like. That's fair. Those are games off the top of my head. I mean, that's a great list. With the exception of Hollow Cure, I've played all the other ones and passed all the other ones. I don't know Hollow Cure. I say passed all the other ones. That's not fair. Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight's the one that... I don't think I've passed Hollow Knight. I have passed the other ones, though. I think Hollow Knight... I don't think Have I? Maybe I have. I don't know. I have to go back and take a look. But now Silk Song's out, so maybe I've got a reason to go back and revisit it. Super Mario 64 port, PSP port of PC is good. Wait. I tend to go... I tend to go back to the retro games a lot more than I do the new ones, but they have made some really good modern games. Again, with The Witcher 3 and with Metaphor and with Jedi Survivor, even though Jedi Survivor doesn't make it onto my list, because I think KOTOR and KOTOR 2 and Jedi Outcast are better in a lot of regards than Survivor is. I still do have a very soft spot for a lot of these new games that are coming out. Like, I do find myself excited to play them. I like Atlas games still. I've actually gotten to meet and speak with Atlas before. They actually gave me a whole bunch of really cool soundtracks they didn't release for everybody else, which was kind of neat. This is back when I worked in the gaming industry. And we talked about our favorite Final Fantasies. And at that time, my favorite one of all time, it still kind of is, but I recognize it's not a good game, it was 8. And it was like, yeah. Have you ever heard of the game Vampire Survivors? Yeah, I have it. I own that game and the Castlevania DLC on literally, I think, every platform that I can own. Well, not every platform. I think I have it on Xbox, cell phone, tablet, Android, right? And Switch. And yeah, I think that's a fantastic little game too. But yeah, I have it with the Castlevania DLC. If there's Castlevania DLC, I'm probably going to get it. And that's true for Dead Cells as well as it was for Vampire Survivors. And when V Rising stops being so bleeding expensive, I will also get it with the Castlevania DLC. But for now, I think it's like $100 if you want everything. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So, but I find myself excited to play a lot of these kind of newer games. Again, I like Jedi Survivor. I'm going to be playing The Outer Wilds soon. I'm excited to get to play The Witcher on the channel. Heck, I'm even excited to be able to try Hogwarts Legacy out on PS5, considering, again, that's a whole different world. That's a whole different thing for me to kind of learn. So I'm kind of very excited to see what that looks like. And it's an open world style game, is my understanding, from what little I've gotten to mess with it. It's kind of that. So I think that would be really, really cool. We were Castlevania any good, or you ranked it, etc. Yes, Castlevania Rebirth is fantastic. It is not on my top 30 list, but yeah, I do. There was there were two WiiWare games, Castlevania and Contra. Konami did both, Castlevania and Contra Rebirth, what they're called. They're both really well worth having if you can still get your hands on them. If you can't get your hands on them, well, you can. You can get your hands. If you can't buy them, you can find the ROMs online, and it's very, very easy to use a WAD file on a Wii to reinstall that channel even offline. So it is possible to get them back and play them. HoloCure is basically like the game, but like that game, but with VTubers from the corporation HoloLive. It's my new interest at the moment. I'll have to take a look at that then. That's interesting. I meant that Castlevania tier list you did where I asked you to on stream to sing. Oh, I don't remember. I mean, I remember that stream. I don't remember if did I rank it? I don't remember if I ranked. Yeah, I would put. I guess if I didn't rank it, let me go ahead and do that. And if I did, then this will be an update. Yeah, I think Rebirth probably is very, very high on the B tier list. Maybe low A tier, but it's really good. It's not going to be S tier like Symphony of the Night, Order of Ecclesia, or Rondo of Blood. It's not gonna. I mean, S tier that's S tier, right? And then A tiers are. I think I probably put Dracula's Curse in S tier because that is for me. But honestly, Castlevania 1 and Castlevania 3 could very easily go into the top tier of A. So yeah, I think Rebirth probably be there. Interestingly, Getting Over It would have to be in my top 30 as well. That's a contentious piece. That's a frustrating game. So the fact that you enjoyed it so much that you put it in your top 30, I mean, I guess I have hard games in my top 30, but not ones that are intentionally that rage inducing. I'm curious, Viddy, just a side note real quick. Viddy, have you gotten to take a look, or have you had the time or even the want, it may not even be a matter of time, to take a look at the Star Wars and Philosophy book, just for the fun of it, or listen to any of that Kreia video? I don't know if that's something you'd be interested in, or if that's something that it held your interest. The reason we're saying that is we're talking about interesting, right? You said interestingly, and I'm sitting there going, I didn't know if you had the time to do that. It seemed like you were interested in it prior. Again, if you haven't, no worries and no hurries. I just was curious as to if you did. But no worries either way. Getting Over It. That's an interesting little twist there, though. I think that's pretty cool, but that's an interesting twist for certain. Not yet. Trying to finish. Oh, that's fine. That's not a problem. And then I'm gonna get stuck into Star Wars philosophy. Yeah, no, you're good. I was just curious. There's no hurry or no worry. It's never. There's no pressure whatsoever. I just was curious as to if you had had the chance. But if you haven't, that's not a problem. The only game I've taken an interest in, it's the only game I've taken an interest in speedrunning, but I don't do it nearly as much as I used to. I mean, that's fair. You're busy. You've got college. You've got different various adult responsibilities and studying and so on and so forth. I completely get it. So no worries at all. Let's see. I will admit, maybe Severance TV show has become a new obsession. I probably get distracted a bit. And that's all right. I mean, again, I'm asking out of morbid curiosity and the desire to discuss it. So, sorry, I'm trying to set my phone on the charger and over here to the side, and it's in the. There we go. Sorry, I hit the mute button accidentally. Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. I was just curious as to if it was something that you were able to or interested in getting to, but I don't know. I very much I enjoy it. Again, I even got I have a lot of Star Wars like statues and stuff like that, and I have my like I said, I just got a Dooku polystone statue yesterday, which I very much love. I found it for like I said $26. I have Count Dooku, who is one of my favorite Sith Lords of all time. Revan being my favorite, I have a statue of him also. And then that, it's just one of those things you look at it and you're like, okay, well, what was Dooku's philosophy? And Dooku had these really interesting, he had these really interesting philosophies. He wasn't actually evil. That was kind of one of the big ones. So I guess my innie has been trying to talk on the Retro Room streams the whole time, and my outie never remembers what Retro and you guys talk about. That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. Again, there's no worries, no pressure or anything like that. It's just one of those things where it's always fun to get to talk with you on it if we do, but I guess we have been talking for about an hour and a half, so I'm going to go ahead and switch it over. I'm going to go ahead and fade the music out and switch it over to the game. It's all censored. Sorry about that. That button isn't necessary for the most part, but we had a game where it was necessary, and so I'll give you a spoiler. So Ivy and I played Ivy and I have played you see. Oh, you knew I was referencing Severance, or you've not seen it? I've not seen it, but I understood when you say innie and outie, I understood the way I understood was the potential of disassociation from that which is to inner monologue, which I don't have inner monologue, but I understand the concept of it. My eyes, I wasn't meant to see. So Witcher 3 now, lots of adult content. It's not bad. It's not too terrible. I'm gonna bring YouTube won't do anything. But there was Ivy and I played A Way Out on the channel, and it was funny because there's a scene in it where your character gets put into prison and he's stripped naked and he's hosed down and all this. And I tried to put a censor bar up, and I put the censor bar, but there's a small gap below the censor bar. And I had thought that the censor bar was going to cover everything. Turned out that the parts that you wanted censored happened to just make it in that little opening below the censor bar. And so I went back and I watched it with my wife. And she pointed it out. She was like, hey, you know that censor bar? And I was like, yeah. And she was doing a good job. She's like, well, almost. And it shows me you got this guy walking around, and the part you uncensored is just right in that little gap below the censor bar, and you're like, oh, well, shoot, okay. It was. I mean, there's nothing done that's inappropriate about it. It's just to try and kind of avoid, little kids stumbling on and pointing and that kind of thing. It's not like it was never in an inappropriate or adult context, except for that it was nudity. But which Statue of David is also, and arguably is not a vulgar thing. But at the same time, it was just funny. So just to make people comfortable, because there are some games that we have that do have nudity that are sexually charged, like The Witcher. I have put it so that the whole screen gently blurs instead, and you can kind of hear the noises and things, but it's blurred so as not to be too jarring to young people who might stagger onto the channel. That's funny. I'm going to be honest, the only thing I viewed any and outie as was belly button. Fair enough. Really, not two distinct personalities, or I don't know, let alone remember each other. That's kind of what Severance is. Well, so you have to think about it. When you're talking about... I haven't seen Severance. My next guest is Introvert and Extrovert. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, but you guys should. Solid first impression on my part. I was thinking you were blurring the screen in preparation for the Witcher streams. Yeah, the blur is going to be in preparation for that, because there are some scenes where that's a little bit dicey. And again, I'm not trying to be censorious against anything. I think it's part of the art of storytelling, but we also do have younger people that stumble on here, and I don't want their parents being upset because they stumbled on and have questions that the parents weren't yet wanting to address, right? Parents should definitely make sure that the kids aren't stumbling on there in the first place, but I can do some due diligence in making it a little bit easier for parents not to have to be so diligent on the specifics, because a kid can easily, in a 5-second span, push a button that leads them somewhere down a deep, deep rabbit hole, and it's very difficult for a parent to prevent all of that nowadays. Used to, you could put a lock on it and everything would do, but nowadays there's so many wormholes outside of parental control and such that I get it. So, all right. So when I was thinking in and out, I was thinking inner and outer voice. I was thinking about the outer voice being that which you do in the moment and that which you experience in the moment. Inner being inner voice, inner monologue, being that which you intend do or do often without actually making itself manifest in the physical world. I don't have an inner monologue, which is to say I don't have a voice inside of my head, my voice or anyone else's. I don't hear voices or thoughts. I see them. Whenever I think, I don't hear myself saying it before I say it. I read it off of what is effectively the brick wall of my mind. I know it's kind of weird, but that is. Flower pot. Now, I do know... It was vaguely... No, he wasn't vaguely trying to say it. They had him go through and do those takes multiple times, and he said like after 5 or 6 or 7 times, some ridiculous, he had to go in and put such a heavy emphasis on the TH because of the compression of the Nintendo 64. He had to go through and thank you, because otherwise it did sound like that, even though... But he did slip his fair... I mean, they did slip their fair share of jokes in any which way, right? The lady at the very end carrying the melons on the tray, and several of the things Gruntilda says, so yeah. I can't believe that Banjo would say that. Usually he just says, gah. Yeah, it's little flower pots outside of Mad Monster Mansion. Grant Kirkhope is a story about that. Apparently Nintendo constantly thought that it sounded like, the flower pots in Mad Monster Mansion were a precursor to Conker's Bad Fur. Oh, yeah. I'm sure they took all of the things that Nintendo wouldn't pass originally and were like, let's try this again, but we'll just disclaim that that's what it is. I'm going to hit a button real quick so I can hear the game. Ooh. All right, now I can hear the game, and hopefully you guys can hear me, and I can see you, and it's all going to be good. When we last left off, we were meditating on the way back from what was otherwise a perilous fight against what we thought was the main antagonist of the game, but for some reason, I guess he's not. And I'm saying this, obviously, tongue-in-cheek, because I have played and passed this game before. I need to turn it down just a little bit more in my headset, so 1 minute. So I trust you'll blur any mature moments of the Star Wars game. You see, I'm actually 1 year old, and uh-oh, I shouldn't even be here. Luckily, there aren't any mature moments that would warrant blurring on here, but yeah, absolutely, if there were, I would. I never paid attention. Cal is... I don't believe Cal is left-handed. Is he? Is Cal left-handed? No? Okay, so I guess Cal is ambidextrous because I never realized he uses the blaster with his left hand, but his swordsmanship is definitely right-handed. So I guess he's just ambidextrous. I never paid attention to that. How can a 1-year-old have such a sophisticated vocabulary and talk philosophy? Now, philosophy, that's a thing. Your vocabulary is vast for a 1-year-old. Left hand... Yeah, I was going to say, Link... except for Twilight Princess. Except for Wii Twilight Princess. In which case, Link is actually right-handed. Because they took the GameCube version and they flipped it, because most people are right-handed. So they flipped it, they mirrored it so that the right-handed people would be able to play. Okay, so let me... I think I can actually use the meditation to fast travel back. Let's do that instead.
I need to focus.
I always forget about fast travel. So we're going to go back to the Mantis. Link is right-handed in Skyward Sword and the Breath of the Wild era games. Yeah, Skyward Sword, yeah. I'm pretty sure he is. I know he is in Twilight Princess. I think Twilight Princess was the first time he was made right-handed. In Twilight Princess, the GameCube, he's still left-handed. But when they moved it over to the Wii, he was made right-handed because more people were right-handed. More people were right-handed, and they wanted people to be able to use the Wii wand that way. Yeah, so and Skyward Sword would very likely have been the same. Now, as far as whether he is in the Breath of the Wild era, I don't know. I don't remember. I haven't been playing Breath of the Wild. My daughter's been playing that, so I might ask her if she remembers if he's right or left-handed in it. Okay, so we've got Bode. Bode helped us kill the bad guy, so...
Yeah. When we were fighting Dagon, those hallucinations, what were they for you?
Our friends, suffering because they followed me. And I couldn't do anything to stop it.
I saw Kata in her room, stormtroopers coming for her, breaking down the door. But you know what? That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Thanks for being there and having my back.
No. Thank you, brother. We're closer than ever to giving the people we love real safety.
There's Bode telling us how much we enjoy. Is your daughter enjoying them? Yeah, she seems to be really enjoying them. We've been playing Zelda for a while. Like her and I played Zelda since before the Breath of the Wilds came out. So she kind of jumped on that bandwagon pretty quickly, which I thought was cool.
Well, guess that's it. Next stop, Jedi, and then it rhymes with Mandalore.
You sure you're ready to leave Pyloons behind?
Well, I gotta admit, it's in good hands. And this ain't a one-way trip. We can still visit, right?
Just have to be careful.
Sure. I was more of a risk taker when I was younger. These days, I just want a place to call home.
I like Grease. Yeah, she likes him. We started playing. I mean, she played a lot of. She started out playing with a lot of the classics, and I think we played a lot more of like the Link to the Past. I was gonna say Link Between Worlds. Link to the Past. We did play some Link Between Worlds, stuff like that. And then she started playing the.
I know that look.
She started playing the Breath of the Wild and such. She's ready to get past it and then play Tears of the Kingdom, which we also have.
Those were long odds, even for you.
I didn't let my past control me. Dagon's overwhelmed.
Well, I gotta hand it to you. We talked about Link and Zelda just because of a Jedi being left or right-handed. That's true.
Well,
I think he's both. I think he's both, though.
Of course. You're not getting rid of me that easily.
All right. So Marin, we've got all of our good buddies here. Breeze is there. He's going to teleport to his seat because I'm going to get to this map. The assumption is that he walks around, but he doesn't. You won't.
Ready to go?
So we're going to go to Jedi. We're on Kobo.
Full speed to Jedi.
There he is in his little seat.
You think Cordova can repair that compass?
I think normally when we talk about left-handed representation in video games, I think Link is kind of I think he's kind of ubiquitously the most
So close now.
the most referenced, the most thought after. I can't think of very many others though that are left-handed, so I guess that makes
Don't go
sense.
starting a witch school or something. I definitely don't invite those creepy sisters of yours.
Mario Tennis on the N64 has an option to make the character left-handed on selection. I mostly couldn't tell if it affected the gameplay or not.
Did you feel that?
Are you kidding me?
I feel like that's probably just the orientation.
It's time to land.
I guess when you, if you're right-handed, you're going to want to be on the left side of the court so that your handedness is towards the center court. And I'm assuming that if you're left-handed, that probably is flipped, so you're probably wanting to stay on the right side of the court with the left of your left hand, the left side of your body towards the center court. That's the best guess I have, though. Now, obviously, with the Wii, that makes that makes a lot more sense. Or even the Switch with the sports games there, it allows you to choose your handedness. I think that makes sense. So, all right, so we made our way back to Jeddah. Now all we have to do is just let him see if Eno has fixed the compass. And then we have the way to go back to it. Maybe it's about perspective. It can be, because you have to think about it think about the things that you don't have to think about. I know this is ironic, but think about the things you don't have to think about when you're right-handed versus left-handed. If you are a golfer, for example, standing on the right side of the ball versus standing on the left side of the ball. If you're left-handed, you would stand on the right of the ball, and if you're right-handed, you stand on the left of the ball, right? You always want your dominant hand on the back end of the ball because that's where the power's coming from. Your power's going to come from the hips, but you get my point. Even just the standing on certain sides and measuring about how far you are from your goal drastically changes based on your orientation, and your orientation completely changes based upon your handedness. Now, in my case, I'm ambidextrous, which means I'm left and right-handed. I can write and play and do whatever with both hands. But in the case of somebody who is exclusively right-handed or left-handed, yeah, that could be a big difference. Then again, I'm right-handed, or how was I able to play most of the Legend of Zelda games effectively as a left-handed character? Well, I think in those cases, your character is mostly centered, right? So the swinging and the pot smashing and all that kind of stuff that happens is pretty well in the center. There's no measurement. Imagine, though, if you had to hold the Wii wand, or imagine if you even had to do something that was kind of that required a micro measurement of the handedness from the handedness you were, the orientation from your handedness. All right, here we go. Hey, Bode.
Normally I can shake these things, but I keep thinking about Coruscant.
I try not to.
I get that. For some reason, Gabs keeps popping into my head. Hardly knew me. Still gave me a hard time.
Yeah.
Imagine the imagining of the imagination, or imagine holding a Wiimote. Yeah, that too.
Inquisitors.
It is basically what I'm saying is imagine the practical part of having to be left or right-handed versus the things you don't really think about, but that we measure. If you are right-handed, then being able to measure from the left side of the ball. For example, a baseball player, even though you might not actually be swinging the bat, imagine what standing on the other side of that ball in the other batter's box might look like. It's not just about your handedness, it's also about, usually your dominant eye is developed based on your handedness, right? So your dominant eye might also be, and your perceptions, and your depth perception specifically might be affected by just being on the other side of a ball. Hi, Marin.
So, about what happened on the Mesa.
The Empire will think twice before sending another Trident to Jeddah.
I was actually,
I know what you are asking, Cal. My sisters taught me that to discuss a spell is to unravel it. So let us let this one lie. For now.
Okay.
Fair enough.
We wanted to talk to her. She cares about us. Let's go ahead and meditate here so that we don't get stuck. If something happens, I don't want to have to go all the way back. So there we go. Enemies have respawned. Shouldn't be any. You know you were meant to sing that. Imagine all the people being left or right-handed. You may, yes, you were meant to sing that. I don't. Again, I have a face for radio and a voice for print. No way. If my voice sounds this way spoken, there's no way you would want me to sing. All right. So here's Seer and Eno. Let's go ahead and give him the compass.
Daguerre had the last compass, but it's
damaged.
He didn't exactly hand it over.
This can be repaired. I'll begin at once. BD.
Let's give Master Cordova some time to concentrate.
I know a place for the view.
You know, you could do what Laurie Anderson did, kind of did with her work, and do a spoken word song. Yeah, I could. I mean, I could definitely pull the William Shatner Rocket Man piece for sure. But even William Shatner's just got a great voice too.
Hey, I have more tea. But, you know, it's kind of heavy. If anybody wanted to give me a hand.
Of course,
that would be
Grease.
nice. Ah, thank you. Oh, ha, very funny. Oh. Okay, here you go. Round 2.
All
What
right.
do you think?
Strong.
If I were to transcribe one of Laurie Anderson's works,
You'll get used to
you could do a really cool spoken word piece.
Seer.
I mean, I could try. I could at least
Join us
speak
in
it,
Cantaloupe.
sure.
There's no better home for the archive or the hidden path.
Tea, yeah. I don't know what kind of tea. I wonder what kind of tea they had. I had a
Together.
chai tea just a moment ago. Now I'm sipping on a chai,
Yes.
an apple chai flavored bubble water.
It's a new path for all of us. Cal, Master T'Pol would be proud of the Jedi you've become.
I'll find a worker first. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can give it a shot. I really am curious. They don't really go into the details, but I would really be curious to see what caused
Tanalor.
Seer to change up her appearance so
Does that mean
drastically.
you're coming?
Yes, Grease. In fact, I'm going to go and prepare the archive for relocation.
Well, it's getting late. I'll go with you. Say, where is the Manus in there? This place is terrifying at night.
I will escort you.
Oh, great. But, hey, none of that creepy stuff, okay? Seer, are the Anchorites really coming with us?
Of course, yes.
Wow, our family's growing with a boatload of creepy aunts and uncles.
All right, so we're going to be able to go to Tanalor, where we're going to be able to seek refuge away from the Empire, who doesn't know how to get there.
We did it, Bode.
Yeah. Compass is gonna be good as new.
Something's bothering you.
Ah, you know me too well, Scrapper. Just thinking about Kata.
I can completely understand
After her, but
Bode's worry. Like, I would be in the same...
it's always a bit tough.
If my daughter were at risk, I would absolutely be nervous no matter
She
what,
sees what you've done for her.
to make sure that
She'll understand.
she was okay.
I hope so.
I do like Bode. I think he's a cool character. And we'll learn more about him as things
Maybe
go
we should go
on,
to Tanmore first.
which I think is good.
Make sure it's safe before the others join.
What Fassbinder film is it? The one-armed man comes into the flower shop and says, "What flower expresses days go by?"
Head the Empire, right?
And they just keep going by endlessly, endlessly pulling you into the future.
Hey.
Days go by endlessly.
Tomorrow
Oh,
we're gonna have a new home.
what
I've
Fassbinder?
done that without you.
Okay, what Fassbinder film is it? The one-armed man comes into the flower shop and says,
Thank you,
"What
bud.
flower expresses days go by?" And they just keep going by endlessly, endlessly pulling you into the future. Days go by endlessly,
Gonna go record
endlessly
bedtime story
pulling
for
you
Kyle.
into the future. And the florist says,
You've
White
earned it.
Lily.
You've earned
White
it.
Lily by Laurie Anderson. Huh. The Fassbender part threw me off because I was actually thinking about like Michael Fassbender films. And I didn't know of one that had anything like that happen, so it was like... But I do like that. I like that a lot. What flower expresses days go by, and they just keep going by endlessly. Endlessly pulling you into the future. Days go by endlessly,
Beauty
endlessly
and
pulling you into the future. And the florist says,
Now
White
you
Lily.
sound like a Jedi.
Interesting.
You got a few things right.
Thank you. I that was just me reading it and then enjoying and digesting, so I appreciate the fact that you were tolerant
The
there with
order's
me.
gone. It's time to leave it behind. And
Maybe start a new chapter.
I know what I want now.
It's a witch.
Took you long enough.
So, side note, if you are into the books, this doesn't make a lot of sense. There is a book about what happens in between this and the what happens between this game and the previous one, and she is an encounter, excuse me, with a different woman, and doesn't really seem to put a ton of interest in Cal, or at least not nearly this much. So, don't worry about that book. This is the canon. One of my all-time faves, which is probably too long to quote, is Laurie Anderson referencing a writer's quote, "Language is a virus from outer space." The quote alone has interesting interpretations. Great, the Star Wars game spoils the books. I'm leaving. I'm not. The book is not a good book. I would argue that this is a much, much better resolution than the other one. Well, I can see that there's... I can't jump down there to get that, but I can see that there's an echo down there. So we'll run back in. So look at this. Everything went well. It was a good night. We talked with our buddy, and we know what he's wanting to do. We almost jumped off. We, found a relationship with someone that we had wanted that relationship with for a long time. That compass is going to be fixed soon, I guess. Come on. I have to kind of make sure I'm going kind of the right direction, because this is definitely very circuitous. Yeah, okay, I am. Good. And welcome back to the archive. I'll go ahead and meditate again, because we don't want to see the whole thing. Language is a virus from outer space. Thought. I love the interpretations of the Tower of Babel. I think that one's the one that I enjoyed the most, because it isn't a virus from outer space. There's nothing more natural than language, and there's nothing simultaneously more unnatural. I would argue that language is the only paradox that makes sense. And that would be my argument. Language is the only paradox that makes sense. It is unnatural. It is a virus, certainly, that plagues us and that we seem to feel compelled to expectorate. And at the same time, it is the only way that we can genuinely make a situation better, or to make a sickness or an illness lessen, is by allowing ourselves to push opinion out. So the virus part I agree with, but from outer space I don't. I think that it's the virus with which we've plagued ourselves, which we've been born with. It's dormant in us, and that it's a sickness that only has to be there, what is the word I want to look for? Gestate
Been spending time with Master
before we find out
An
that
unexpected
it's
lesson.
infected us.
Though I have some competition.
What do you mean?
My anchorites have taken to following him around, doting on him, bringing him tokens of respect.
Aw.
Interesting. So maybe I should be talking to him.
By all means. I'm sure he has much to teach you.
Okay. Laurie Anderson is also in behind-the-scenes footage. thought it was Buddhist, as in there is the thing, and then there is the name for the thing, and maybe that's one thing too many. Also in behind-the-scenes footage, thought it was Buddhist. That's possible. That's definitely possible. But the question is, where is that line drawn definitively? All right, we're going to see how Mr. Cordova has done.
Coming.
See for yourself.
Master Cordova.
He got it working. Cordova's a genius.
Imperial forces coming in from all sides. They found us.
Get your people out. I'll hold them off as long
But how would they have found us?
Bode. I'm really sorry about this.
Oh. Son. Son, you don't have to do this.
No!
So we've a traitor in our midst.
He's dead! Bode has the compass. Go after him. Go!
I'm going to pause it real quick, taking the... when I did a top TV shows event, I quoted Laurie Anderson's Languages of Irish track, so I'll put that here for you to do your spoken word piece. Okay, sure.
Bode!
And I got to chase after Bode. Him in that blasted jetpack, right? So note, I did say I like Bode, and I did know this was going to happen, and I still like Bode, because, again, I kind of prefaced it. He's doing this for his daughter, and I get that. I would absolutely do all kinds of terrible things to make sure my daughter was taken care of and safe, so I get it. I'm not mad. Wait, where am I meant to go? I don't think I can fall down that. Nope, I just go ragdoll. Ah! Whoa. Hold on. I don't believe there's such a thing as TV. I mean, they just keep showing the same pictures over and over, and when they talk, they just make sounds that more or less sync up with their lips. That's what I think. Sounds a bit like The Last of Us almost, even though Ellie is not Joel's biological daughter. Excuse me. Yeah. Which is part of the reason I don't like The Last of Us 2 very much, but, you know. Okay, I have to see, did he actually go this way? I mean, that would have been the way I would have gone if I were wearing a jetpack, or did he stay in here? It wouldn't make sense, right? He would have up here. But then I don't see where he's gone. Unless that's him right there, in which case I don't know, I can't reach him. No, he went down. That's what I was gonna say. I would have gone up here. That's how you read a TV verse from Languages of Iris. Interesting. I mean, again, I'm reading it, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I have a great grasp on it or that I've done it in a way that does it justice or anything like that. No, I think he went down towards the mantis. He's on the second floor. Oh. He hopped on a speeder bike. That's what he did. Thank goodness he waited up for me, because I didn't see him go in there. And these speeder bikes don't have guns on them, so what am I going to do about that? And we have TIE fighters. This is a really cool scene, by the way. We're just trying to talk with him. Come on. There he is. Okay, I was able to kick him. It's very un-Jedi-like of Cal to the first thing he tries to do is to pull a lightsaber out on Bode instead of further maybe try. See, like this kind of makes sense because he's got a shock pull. But we also noticed that the Empire doesn't seem super interested in shooting him down. Well, maybe they are. Let's see. One of the things I like about Outlaws that I think Outlaws does very, very well is the speeder bike. He's got the jetpack. We're still in trouble. There we go. Now we can take him down. Keep a hold of him. All right. I'm going to pause really quickly. Do you think you would ever consider doing audiobook, voiceover, etc. stuff, Retro? Because people in my personal and online life sort of think I should pursue that. I'm not sure if I'm confident enough. But maybe. I have already, so I've never done audiobook. I have actually done voiceover stuff before. I've done paid voiceover acts, or gigs. Mostly for commercials, and mostly for the guy at the end, which says, for more information, do this, or this, that kind of guy. But I have actually done that. Yeah, I would, if people wanted my voice for something, I would be happy to. I just need, it's a very hard world to break into, as I understand it. So, but I would love to. I'd love to do voice. As a matter of fact, you had the project. You had the project that you had posted about looking for voice talent, and I'm not arguing that I'm talent, but I was happy to be a part of that. Now, luckily, you have that solved and situated, but that was, that's a very good stair step into just doing voice in general, which I think is really cool. I think is a really cool way to go about it. All right, Bode.
Why? Why, Bode? For this! We fought for that together, and you're just gonna hand it to the Empire? I'm not giving it to the Empire. You killed Master Cordova. Cal, you don't have time for this fight. Something terrible is coming for that archive. Listen to your instincts. You know I'm right. What have you done? If you want to keep your family safe, you get them out of there. Right now. What have you done?
Now we have new information.
can't be. You're not the only one who survived. Heat detonator!
I have to get used to this again.
Go see your family. Back
He's using a backhanded style, which is not a good idea, by the way. Reverse grip is what it's called. It's not a good idea. Reverse grip is always going to be weaker in actual sword fighting. There are very few instances of it actually being somewhat successful. And then Bo takes the X-Wing. Well, now we're in trouble. Lies of P took a turn. Wrong Soulsborne game, Viddy.
Hold them back. They cannot reach the archive.
Yes, Master Junda. This is our home.
Defend the archive.
We must hold out as long as we can. Draw their fire, and buy time for the others to evacuate.
Only one thing. I'm taking point on this pursuit. Nice hit! I'm unsure if it's
Empire is attacking the main gate.
I know a shortcut. Stand back. We have to hold the hangar until evacuations are complete. Why aren't the base defenses active?
Something's wrong. We'll take them together.
Take the blaster bolt! Get back here!
The Force guides us.
It is an honor to fight by your side.
Have you seen Cal?
No. The BD was with the Mantis. They're evacuating.
Yeah, sorry. Either you're absorbed in this game or your mic's turned off. My mic turned off. Sorry about that. That was my, I guess I unplugged something and the wire tapped my mute button, so sorry about that. I was talking, though.
Look! Walkers!
It cannot reach the main gate.
So it doesn't seem like, in a lot of this, it doesn't seem like that there's going to be a lot of threat to Seer and Marin, because, I mean, you can see how they are. They fight together really, really well. Now I have to figure out how the heck am I gonna... How the heck am I gonna get down there? I guess we're just gonna jump this way, then. One of the things that I've said about this game is I love this game, but the pathing is wonky. And I still stand by that. It is still wonky. The game itself is great, but again, just to know which direction to go is very difficult a lot of times. I was making mention, I think I may have made mention before I pulled the thing, but was that Seer having a blue lightsaber means she's likely going to be better in combat. Well, if you went silent as in I cannot even talk now, this is like the best game ever, and I'm not going to make a darn sound. Yeah, no, that's a little too quiet. It's a great game. It is a very good game. But no, I was giving history on Star Wars lore and the like. Or you were swearing the last few minutes in the... No, nothing like that. I was giving some lore on different perspectives and points of view. And then, of course, I was talking about how it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to keep up with Seer.
Clyde, we have to stop the walkers.
It doesn't look like anyone's going to be able to keep up with Seer or with that's not good. Or with her with Marin. K2SO, or K unit, KX unit. I should get out of the... Yeah, okay, I did. That worked out really well. She's going to be much more lightsaber orientated than Cal is. So you notice, like, she's destroying K units in a matter of no time, basically. Okay, saying we have to take out the walkers. What's the best way to take out the walkers? Use a giant... this ball? Probably do that. Is there one on this side, maybe? Or is it just that one? I mean, that'll do. Oh, we missed the lore now. The Banjo-Kazooie flower pots took over the stream for a moment. Okay, yeah, there's one up here.
There's more munitions on the second level.
but I've gotten stuck. So hold on, let me... You can't be on the dirt for whatever reason. I guess, I mean, it's just, I don't know. We're gonna go up here. We've already told her about that one up there. I need to figure out how the best... Okay, we'll just go this way. We've uncovered a hole here, right? And this game is very pretty in a lot of ways, so... What's in here?
Vengeance will be mine.
So says Batman. I don't see anything useful in here. This is a cool little nook, but I don't see anything useful. Uh-oh. Purge troopers. We'll go ahead and use our little shield trick and get rid of them. Oh, sorry, Marin. One of the things I also really think is cool is the, you can see the intermediary armor. You can see the intermediary armor from the clone era, along with the, what the heck? There we go. You can see the intermediary armor from the clone era and the Stormtrooper era when you start seeing like the little mohawk things built onto the helmets, which I think is a really, really cool touch. Because bearing in mind, this is the heyday of the Empire.
Marin, can you...
Of course.
Right, this is not around the time of Episode 6. This is, you know, right after Episode 3 kind of thing. So we actually get that clone trooper to stormtrooper. And we don't hear... Stormtroopers are hired, whereas clone troopers were cloned or bred for it. But we don't... One of the things I wish we did is I wish we still heard some of the clone trooper voices. The Tamara Morrison voice, or the...
Focus.
Or even the... oh shoot, what is the other voice actor? D. Bradley Baker. I think that would be really cool.
So many have died.
And many more will die if we do not secure the hangar.
Cordova.
He would want us to salvage what we can of the archive.
And the contact codes.
We cannot fall into the Empire's hands, no matter the price.
Okay, well, it doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to stand up to you and Marin. You guys are killing by the tens, if not hundreds, eventually. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at how easy that was. She walked in and that was like 6 of them. Those are anchorites. Sorry. Okay, there's the Mantis down there. We should make our way down. We want to make sure the Mantis stays okay. Where the heck is Grease? I don't think I can use that rope, actually. We'll go the other way. We know where Bode is, we know what happened to Cal, we know where Marin is, and we know where we are. Where is Grease, though? Or just to tear these locks out. I mean, you can see Seer tears through people so much more readily, and so this perch people. She tears so much more rapidly through these guys than Cal does, which is really cool. Then it makes you, again, it does kind of make you wonder a little bit, like, what's going to stand in her way? And especially with Marin there to help us, like, what can stand in Seer's way? Like a lightsaber bowling strike almost is exactly what it was. I mean, that's exactly what it was. We can't upgrade, we can interact with this. I can't upgrade my lightsaber because Seer uses the same lightsaber. One of the questions that I have, and I don't think there's an answer for it in the books or otherwise, is Bode, Bode's lightsaber crystal was already red. When did Bode bleed his crystal? So for people who don't know, in old canon, lightsaber crystals that were red were manufactured lightsaber crystals. In the new canon, you actually take them, and we saw it happen here with Dagan Gera, or Dagan.
You too. Grease, do you hear me?
Here, what a nice surprise.
Stay in the Mantis until we secure the hangar.
Copy that. Good luck out there.
Okay. So one of the things we didn't realize is, or one of the things I don't realize is you have to bleed your crystal. You pour all of your anger and your hatred into the crystal bleeds, turns red, and that's why the red color. Okay, we can't get in here yet. When did Bode do it? What event caused Bode to bleed his crystal? I don't believe they actually really... I'm gonna go ahead and get the heck over there. I don't believe they actually really go into the details on that. Let's see. Oh, it's Full Metal. Hey, welcome in, by the way. Bo took Dagon's lightsaber. There's a Force echo about it after. I don't know if I ever saw that. That's very nice. You chose not to read my message about the bowling strike. I talked about. Very wise. I did actually, though. Maybe I was unwise, but I did mention the bowling strike. Okay, so that's Dagon's bled crystal. Okay, fair enough.
Keep fighting.
I will die here if I have to.
You don't. We can do some other stuff. What does that say? CRA? What does that mean?
We're not through yet.
Huh? No, we're fine. Rocket troopers. I bet we could do this. Yep, that's what I thought. I didn't actually push that back last minute, if you're curious. So then I guess that leads to another question. If he took Dagon's lightsaber, and I say Dagon, I know the name is Dagon, but that sounds so wonky to me. But he took Gara's lightsaber, let's say that, right?
Have faith. We will stop.
Where's his? Where did his go? Because if he's working for the Empire, it's not like he wouldn't have been allowed to keep it. Okay, it's an ATST. Come on. Let's see if we can... I have never tried this, but we're going to try it anyway. Uh-oh, I'm glitched. Get out of the way, Seer. No, the one where I to rage quit on my behalf. I can admit. Oh, I didn't see that one. Like, you know what? No, yeah, I don't rage terribly much. Sorry, spoilers. Well, we have all the information. I don't think you ruined anything. I'm a Star Wars casual, sort of. I may not get to play this game for a while. It looks cool. It's a great game. Get out of the way, Seer. One of my least favorite things is sometimes it does not. Give me a rocket. Nope, never mind. We'll go ahead and heal. There's a meditation circle in here.
This is it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as the spoilers part goes, we've already got enough information on that. We've already taken down Dagon, and we've already seen Bode ignite his. Or ignite the saber, so. Take into consideration that that Seer is supposedly canon and Starkiller is, or Galen Merrick is canon, is not canon, is extended canon. That should still kind of put into perspective. She's pretty strong.
I'm sure he's fine. He probably just turned off his comm.
Seer, what now?
We'll escape before their main force arrives. Then we'll regroup at the rendezvous point. First, I need to get back.
So I guess I wonder then where I guess I wonder then where Bode's saber went. And what color saber was Bode's?
I need you to stay here and defend the Mantis.
Was he a guardian? Did he have blue? Was he a consular? Did he have green? He's got to be blue, right? He's got to be blue.
Warm grease.
He's got to be a guardian.
Hey, Seer. You hurry back. You got this.
Thank you, Grease.
I don't know why we walked that way, because we need to go back up to this little CRA area. I don't know what the CRA means, but that's what that says up there. CRA. Yeah. Oh, ARC. ARC. It's backwards. I see it now. Gotcha. Archive. I was trying to I was wondering why. I was like, CRA? What is CRA? It's ARC. It's for archive. I got it.
And save as much of the archive as we can.
Again, my phone and computer and all that stuff, for the most part, have a tendency to be in Aurebesh. I read it pretty well. Yeah, see right there it says ARC, but I was reading it. And what the heck? That's a crazy little... Okay, so take a look at this. So it says ARC there. It's a hologram. You can actually see, if you watch, I can see the light straight through it. But if I flip over here, notice now there it says ship. I never noticed that. That's super cool. That's really neat. Okay. I'm going to pay more attention to these little details. Again, this is a game that they literally wrote HIJKLMNOP on the side of a building for Aurebesh. Whereas the more contentious Outlaws, actually focused. I mean, they wrote their whole ads and menus out in Aurebesh for the most part. We want to save as much of the archive as we possibly can. Did somebody... I'm assuming we've already moved Eno's body. Okay. I guess Eno's body would have been over here, actually, wouldn't it? Either we've moved it or it's burning. One way or the other, I suppose. Yeah, it would have been... Body would have been right about here, so I don't know if it's ash or what. Okay. We get our nice little episode 1 comm link. Fun fact for anybody who's interested in the
Take this to the Mantis.
in the Star Wars thing. That's in the not the Star Wars thing. Yeah, in the behind the scenes, the Star Wars comm link is actually a lady's razor painted black with little what they call greeblies pasted onto it, which is really, really cool. I use blue unless I'm dual wielding, then blue main hand, green offhand. Very nice. Uh-oh. Wonder what color his lightsaber's going to be.
It's been a while. I was hoping you drowned on Nur when we blew a hole in your underwater base.
It is delusion to think your actions have had any consequence. The fortress stands.
I love Vader.
Victorious continues its work. And I have come for you.
And I do love that is actually a James Earl Jones voice instead of just a generic deep voice or down-pitched voice. Before James Earl Jones passed, I do believe he permitted his voice to be synthesized in AI for future Star Wars projects for Darth Vader.
I've been waiting.
So... I'm going to pause before we get into this, because I may have to do it a couple of times. I'm playing it on Jedi Knight, and I have gone through this before on Grandmaster. And Grandmaster, it took me so many tries. I'm hoping this will be easy, but I still may die. And I have not done my Grandmaster playthrough. It's been 1 year since I did my Grandmaster playthrough, so... I have a blue lightsaber, and I have a dual one. Blue is the color, however these lyrics go. Okay. I was going to say, so in your case, blue is really good. For anybody who isn't familiar with the Star Wars extended canon, blue is the color when Dad comes home early and you didn't clean up at the house party. Yeah, kind of. Blue is the color of the Jedi Guardian. Guardians are more proficient in saber combat, hand-to-hand combat, which is known generally as... oh my goodness, now I can't think of it. Teras Kasi. Good lord, I couldn't think of it. Teras Kasi. Blue is, again, they're more in combat. They are not gifted. It's not that they're not gifted in the Force. It's just that their focus is generally going to be combat. They're generally going to be better at combat. Green is the color of the Jedi Consular. Consulars are generally more focused on force powers and more in tune with the force. They're going to have a stronger force push or stronger force jump or this or that or the other than their blue sabered counterparts, but they're not usually going to be as good at saber to saber combat as their blue sabered counterparts. Take into consideration Qui-Gon Jinn versus Obi-Wan Kenobi, and take into consideration that Count Dooku, one of the greatest duelists of this era, lived his lightsaber as a Jedi. His lightsaber was also blue, so he didn't use a green lightsaber. He was very powerful in the Force, but he was a master combatant, and he used a blue lightsaber. And then you have yellow or kind of an orangey, more yellow than orange, which is the color of the Sentinel. Sentinels are more balanced than those, kind of not focusing on either one very well, mostly focusing on how they can use what they know of each one to be a better like diplomat or kind of almost thief or kind of more clandestine. So those are the three canonical ones. Now, in other instances, you have representations like purple, which were used by Windu, who is specifically granted a crystal called the Hurricane Crystal, which did that. You also have Darth Revan, who used a purple saber. Since the crystal bleeding canon, it's been widely accepted that purple is a blue saber partially bled, so showing that you have a balance of your hatred and anger, but it's managed not so much to go to red. Obviously red, which is a bled crystal, one where all of your hatred and anger are poured into it. We have examples of that being done correctly in literally every red crystal that exists, except for Kylo Ren's, where it was done incorrectly. Saber crystal was cracked, and we have the vents off the side to try and allow excess energy so that the handle doesn't blow up. We have examples of white, which is Ahsoka Tano's. Ahsoka Tano has unbledded crystal, where she successfully was able to pour enough positive thises and that's into an already bled crystal, but she couldn't revert it back to a specific color. She can only cleanse the bleeding, and that's in the Ahsoka novel also. That's the lightsaber of the fifth brother, I believe, that she purifies. So there are all kinds of different colors. We also have orange, which was in the book Master and Apprentice. It's where a weaker crystal is put that gives a kind of coppery orange hue. There's an example of Skull and Hati from the Ahsoka series, also having orange saber crystals that didn't seem to be weaker, probably partially bled crystals from the Sentinel perspective, making them coppery, so part red, part yellow. And then, of course, we have yellow and Rey, so now that's been made canon. There are other colors technically that are supposed to be able to be out there, but as far as I know, none of them are canon. On a side note, unstable crystals looked way cool in SWTOR. They did, and I like the kind of way that they did it, even a little farther back in the Force Unleashed games, where they had the unstable crystals and they had the ones that pulsed and the ones that crackled and such. It's really cool to have a lot of that. I like little flavor text like that. I'm not so keen on the bleeding crystals. I kind of like the idea of a crystal, having some force capability and calling out to you and that being fine, but the color of the crystal I think is just something that kind of is determined by the color of the crystal. I'm not keen on them being the way that they're kind of said to be, is that they're blank crystals, most often found on Ilum, though in previous millennia found on Dantooine, and they're blank, and then you get them and they all of a sudden change colors, and it's like, well, I don't want that. I want it to be that the color doesn't really matter. It's the other stuff that matters. But you were given the crystal that was, I want to pursue these studies. Okay, we're going to give this crystal that is a green crystal to show that you're pursuing this path, and these are the teachers that teach green crystal, people that hold green crystals. So when you have your saber, they're going to be able to sense and tell and say, this is a person charged, going this, but whatever. It's either way. I picked the worst possible time to do that. There. Let's see, I'm gonna let him go ahead and knock me out so I can... have my heals and stuff back. I stopped and talked, and I should have not. These are now in this. I like that they did this. He's already waiting in the hole for me. I gotta get used to the dodge timing. I'm dead there. All right, I'm gonna have to get used to the dodge timing and all this again. 1 minute. I mean, that's about how an actual fight against her and he would go, to be fair. So, Vader is one of the better Saberists, certainly. There's no doubt with that. And his beating of Dooku was not because he was a great Saberist. It was that it was the combination of him being a great Saberist paired with the fact that he was willing to cheat. I hate that move. I did hit B, but I guess I didn't hit it fast enough. I mean, I'll blame myself on that for sure. It's just, I think... See, she actually cut through his life support system on his chest. That'd be enough to take him out of the fight. That wouldn't be enough to kill him by any stretch, but that would be enough to take him out of the fight. He does need that life support system.
Elusive.
But yeah, his fighting of Dooku, he's not the great... Just to be fair, Vader is a great duelist. He's not the greatest duelist by any stretch. Sidious is a phenomenal duelist.
You have gathered the remnants of the Jedi tradition.
We'll watch this little cutscene before I get into it. So now he's got a new move. And I dodged again. That move takes almost all of your health. We'll go ahead and use this to blow him back a little bit. Doesn't hurt him much, but it does get him out of the way. See if we can get a couple of hits on him. So that breathing thing right there, that's actually what we would have heard if the minute his life support system got hit. But that takes him out of the fight most of the time. I mean, he can use, there's a thing called breath control that he's really good at using, but it's not, he won't usually, he'll fighting through it's not something he's going to be keen on. I mean, technically he can hold his breath for like, I think it's like 2.5 days or something like that, but it's a ridiculous amount of number. Okay, well, thanks.
Waste time.
Okay, here we go.
You have grown stronger.
No. I've only let go of my fear.
We shall see.
I love that little tease right there, too, kind of as an eye wink to Episode 4 with Obi-Wan. I think that's really a nice touch. Yeah, now saber-wise, again, one of the biggest things with Vader is Vader's not the best saberist at all in this era. In this era, Sidious is a great saberist who is actually also a master of something called Jarkai, which is using 2 swords or more. And then you also have Dooku, and again, Dooku was actually a much better combatant than Vader was in terms of saber skill, even though he had mastered one form, which was Makashi, Form 2. He was perfect at it. And the reason that he lost was because of Anakin's willingness to be dishonorable in the fight and to grab his hands, and Dooku did not pay him that same discourtesy. Dooku was an honorable fighter. So fire's not something that really bothers Vader. Okay, that's, yeah. It's going to take a few times. This is a tough bit. Wow, what an ending. Who'd ever thought Darth Vader was Luke Skywalker's father? Oh, darn you. Mr. Blow the for me. Yeah, no, this is, yeah, Vader's very cool. Let's just be clear about that. Vader is very, very cool. Vader is not afraid of fire. I was going to say, despite the fact that he was burned, he actually... One of his castles is built on Nur, or in Nur, which is a water world. But one of his castles is very much, and his primary castle, in fact, is built on Mustafar, not far from where he was actually burned. And that was done on purpose. That was done to intentionally keep his anger at front of mind, so that he could consistently revel in the power of his hatred of Obi-Wan in that moment. Oh, I was not paying enough attention. That was my fault. There we go. Of course it doesn't bother him. He's walking through fire. Wait, that's a Buffy reference. Who'd ever thought Darth Vader could walk through fire? Oh, thank you. Nice. So him throwing those books is actually another move he has. He just didn't use it last time. There it was. You kind of play dangerous by having a half of the health bar, because if he does grab you with that unblockable... Oh, I love that. If he does block you with that unblockable... or if he does get you with that unblockable attack where he grabs you, that half of the life bar doesn't do you any good. This one. That one. He gets you with that. He can literally end the fight at any time with that, so long as you have a half of a life bar or worse. Because that barricade actually prevented him from using the force power on me, which was good. There we go.
You have grown stronger.
Who'd ever thought the Retro Room ends up completing Star Wars Jedi Survivor on stream? Why, thank you. Who'd ever thought Darth Vader hates Obi-Wan? Yeah. I mean, what a cool fight this is, though, right? Come on. I think it's a really cool thing, because this is kind of a multifaceted piece, but he's actually more powerful because she did that to him. Because now he's on fire and he's angry. This is back to Anakin Skywalker a little bit. Being on fire and being very upset about being on fire. And of course, she's pretty strong. I mean, she's not, don't get me wrong, she's pretty good at what she's doing, but it's not... I need to lock back on. This is the flurry he goes on, and it's very difficult to. Very difficult to get past it. Yeah, it's very difficult to get past. You see, he's just going on a absolute tirade there. Dang it, Darth Vader, we spent so much money on that set. Nah, you've ruined it. Yeah, it's not. This is not an easy fight. It's not the hardest fight in the game by any stretch, but it is definitely not easy.
Waste time.
Okay, so I don't understand why he was already breathing that way.
Most impressive.
That breathing would mean his life support system was compromised. We hadn't done anything that would have done that yet. Had just enough health if he had gotten me with that I would be okay. He keeps trying that move too, and I'm like, I'm glad he's not getting me with that, because that move is the most frustrating. Again, that ends the fight. If you've got less than 3/4 of your health, that ends the fight. On pretty well every difficulty, but the easiest.
What? Elusive.
I think that what soundbite is the soundbite from episode 4 when the Millennium Falcon comes in. That's pretty cool if that's what that is. I gotta get away from him. Sometimes he'll use that move in tandem with the, really? He'll use that move. God! There we go. Thankfully it didn't actually, even though the sound played, it didn't actually waste those. Sometimes he'll use that in tandem with the grab move. This one. He'll pull you close and then he'll do that. And that's frustrating because there are frames that you have to... I'll use this so I can heal. There's a momentary invulnerability you're given when you use that, so... Oh, it didn't let me dodge. Again, I love Darth Vader. This fight is great. Might take me a minute, though. I'm only playing on Jedi Knight. That's surprising to me that this is this difficult. I do remember it being a difficult fight, but I thought it was just because I was playing on Grandmaster the first time. I probably did it 60 times. It should not take anywhere near that this time, but still.
Waste time. Most impressive.
Random question: have any of you ever moved? Hold on. Have any of you ever had a movie spoiled experience where you would have said thank you? Yeah. The Star Wars The Acolyte. I don't think anybody really needs to watch that, and the fact that people were willing to just tell me, hey, we watched it and here's what happens, so I didn't have to watch it, was great. I did watch it anyway, but I didn't feel like... I felt like I knew what I was getting into when I did it, so I was like, alright.
What? You waste time.
I'm dead. I hit the button. That time I know for a fact I hit the button. Yeah, I would say the Acolyte though, Star Wars The Acolyte, which I don't think is a very good show, and I don't recommend watching it. If you have time to watch Star Wars, watch Andor. Watch Andor. Either of the seasons of Andor. Watch the Clone Wars. Watch the Bad Batch. Watch literally anything else. Watch the friggin'... watch Ahsoka. That's good. I mean... Watch The Mandalorian. Watch Book of Boba Fett. Heck, I don't care. Book of Boba Fett's better. Oh, you see that little bald head just barely slip away.
Your end is near.
I hit my quote. I hit the button. That's the thing. I hit the B button. You can hear me. Well, I don't know if you can hear me because I've got noise suppression on. I think you can pretty well hear me hitting the B button, but maybe not. Maybe it. I know I hit the button. I just don't know if you can hear me hitting the button. It automatically, when you change phases, you have to remember to lock back onto the character. I forgot to do that, so that's completely on me. We'll go ahead and do this. Get him away, he'll pull me close, I'm sure. No, he'll push me away, I guess.
So weak. Futile.
I'll be real impressed. I was gonna say, I'll be real impressed if I win this one. What did any of that philosophically mean? It was a literal. That was a literal. I'm not sure if I can hear much in the way of button pressing. Just your singing voice. Yeah, no singing voice being heard here. It's my talking. Perhaps melodically. How do you know you hit the button? How did you know that for a fact? Is it a fact or a point of view? Did you hit the button? Did it lead to reset when you type in 4, 18, 15, 16, 23, and 42? No. I hit the button. The button was depressed. Not sad, it's just, it didn't, I pushed the button. See, I'm trying to use perfect parries as much as I can, but you have to be a little bit more... Usually when I'm fighting, I'll use perfect parries to help knock down their guard bar a little bit. But in his case, you have to kind of be a little bit more aggressive about it, because if you're not, he will absolutely just take advantage of that. I have to say, I do have a noise suppressor on, hopefully cutting out some of the clicks and clacks, so maybe that's the... So these are... Okay, I gotta remember he does a quicker one on that. So it's gonna unlock me from him. I have to lock back on. I gotta remember.
Waste time.
And you can see, like, again, you can see where I kind of have to be... One of the things I really do think is cool about these fights is they do focus on whether he's actually facing you. So if I get behind him for whatever reason, if I'm able to actually... I knew that was going to happen. I'm okay, though. Just barely, but I'm okay. If he does this, I'm not. I gotta get way the heck out. Okay, stop. Okay, I got out of the way on time. Good. There we go.
Waste time.
If he's... So see how his lightsaber was facing away? Even if his guard bar is full with the lightsaber facing away, it counts as a full hit because his lightsaber wasn't in any sort of area where he could have blocked. I think that's a really cool mechanic. I don't think that's a mechanic most people talk about, but I think it's a really cool mechanic. So when he does that tirade, I think I'm just going to start back dodging. This very kendo... This is very much kendo series of moves. Okay, that was weird. So that little thing you just saw happen was him ripping me out of the Force shield move. I didn't even know he could do that.
Elusive.
Oh, well, that was what I was not hoping. Notice how his lightsaber went behind his back, and he actually blocked that, too. That was very, very cool. Didn't know he could do that. My goodness, that is freaking hard. It's still difficult. Even on this difficulty, it is really difficult. I'm enjoying it, though. I'm having fun. I hope you guys are, too. I'm not sure. Let's see. Biddy spoils Game of Thrones ending. I think a lot of people felt that way also. That's a good point of reference. I think a lot of people felt that way about Game of Thrones also, is they didn't really care about Season 8. Because of how rough it was. Okay, you can see I'm doing a little bit better on the timing of the blocks and the dodges, but I mean, this is a tough fight, which again, it should be. This should be a tough fight. It's literally the second in charge of all of the Jedi, or the Sith, excuse me. So it makes perfect sense that this would be a difficult fight.
What? Elusive.
The fighting definitely feels more like fighting than a lot of the other games. A lot of them kind of feel like you're kind of flopping things around, but you can see where like in this fight especially, you can see where his saber is having to make contact with my saber in a lot of cases, and I'm having to get perfect blocks and such, which I think I think this is a cool looking fight. I really do. I think this is a cool fight. As tough as it is and as frustrating as it has been in some of these cases, it's really fun. Oh, get out of the way! Oh. You can see, yeah.
You have stronger.
No.
They wouldn't so much blow the picture for me as they would, well, guess I don't need to watch it then. Yeah, well, that is blowing the picture for you, right? Though it is telling you something that you're like, oh, okay, I mean, this is just... Back off. I don't know, does his block bar get bigger when that happens? No, I know it recharges more quickly, but I don't know if it gets bigger. See, again, that was him ripping me out of my block move. It doesn't let you dodge that thrice. Again, these very two-handed kendo moves. Very, very pretty moves, but... I'm trying to kind of go around him and then hit him while he's in full extension. But he's fast. Gotta make sure the blade work is clean on this one. My goodness. Watch this, though. I love that. It's one of my favorite things right there is that he just takes the saber away and shows you he does not care. He didn't even need the saber to mess with you. I knew that wasn't gonna work. I hit that button and the minute I hit it, I was like, that's bad. That was a good fight though. That was a fun fight. I had no health left and yet I was able to make a really considerable amount of damage. I'm very happy about that. That was really cool. If that had been the one, I hit the wrong button. If that had been the one, that would have been really cool. I would have really been happy to see that be the victory. Taking half of his health bar without taking a hit. Oh, well, that's not going to do it. We're alright, it's just what it is at this point. We'll go ahead and use a force heal. There we go. I was like, he's dead. He's dead. That was a pretty good. You gotta admit, though, that was a pretty good low health run, wasn't it? I mean, that was not bad. That was pretty cool. I'm proud of myself. I know I'm a dork and I probably don't deserve to, but I'm proud of myself for that.
Waste time.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yep. It's the tactic with him is to, from my finding, is you have to kind of feel the distance of the blade, and the most dangerous thing is to accidentally underextend. So, for like right here, I hit him with the very tip of the blade, keeping him at the perfect tip of the blade, which, by the way, is actual swords technique to do that. To keep them at the very tip of the blade, but notice how I underextended there? That's where that's where his opening is. So you'll notice when I hit the tip of the blade out, I was still a good, 4 inches away from him. That's where the danger comes.
You have grown stronger.
All right, now we've got Angry Vader. I need his... There we go. See, he just rips you straight out of that move. There's no using it. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. The most dangerous thing is that, and you have to be aggressive. That's the other part that's really dangerous with him, is you have to be really aggressive, but it's very difficult to do that and not accidentally underextend yourself. That's really a problem. And it's a problem that I'm absolutely suffering from because I don't have that down that perfectly. I did have a really good one on that low health run. I wish I had done I wish I had done a better job. I really do. With the low health run, because that was such a... I really would have liked that to be the run where I passed. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to keep trying. I think the Vader fight's where I'm going to leave off, though. Even though we didn't make a ton of progress, so much story was revealed. And I am having a lot of fun with this. I do like doing this kind of stuff, so... So see, I kind of have to be really aggressive, and you have to be very good on the blocks. And the dodges. one thing you have to remember is blocking and dodging on this are very, very different. You can't dodge every attack, and you can't block every attack. And the timing window on this it's a wider timing window by a long shot than it is on Grandmaster. But even still, it's not easy. Again, I wouldn't want a Vader fight to be easy, though, either. I really wouldn't. Because he's so freaking cool. And in the story, he is very powerful. I mean, that's just the end of it. There is no... Are there more powerful than him? Are there better fighters than he? Sure. Are they here? Nope. So when he perfect parries like that, I have to be really ready to defend. He's also got mild patterns. And that's almost me dead. Almost. He's gonna push me away. Oh, he's gonna try that again. Ooh. Alright, he's being particularly brutal.
You have grown stronger.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna see. Can I get one of these force pushes out of the way, or is he just gonna rip me out of it all the time? No, every move he does can just rip you out of it, because that should have been blocked. The books should have blocked that.
Your end is near.
Books. I had to remember. I was like, ah. Golly, it's so freaking difficult. So when he pushes you away, it's almost always book. That spoils the sixth sense. I need to go back and watch that movie again. I remember when that came out, really enjoying it. Hold on, I'm gonna adjust my seat real quick. I've been kind of leaning back, and maybe I'm not taking this as seriously as I should. So let me position the microphone here. Sorry for the handling noise. I know, isn't it cool though? I mean, it's super cool to see Darth Vader in this. That's one of the reasons I like Kenobi, is because of the way that they handle Vader. He's got a little bit of a window. He kind of, when he tries to grab you, what I kind of like is they have him kind of almost waddle. And it kind of shows that he's not as mobile as he would be as Anakin. A little bit. It's kind of like he knows the saber very well, but he's also kind of still just a victim of the suit, too. Which is very, very much in character for him. And this, for anybody who didn't already know, I'm sure that everybody does, but this suit is very much made a hindrance. It's on purpose a hindrance made for him by Sidious, because if he was in a perfect version of this suit, then he would... Uh-oh, I'm dead. If he were in a perfect version of this suit, then he would be a threat to Sidious. So Sidious put him in a suit that wasn't a, you know the joke. No, it's fine. But no, I was saying, in the people that don't realize, this suit is intentionally flawed because Sidious was afraid of Vader, and he made a suit that would keep Vader weak. And so it's kind of, you can kind of see that with when he tries to grab you, he kind of hobbles towards you a little bit. He kind of has to wind up. He's not like, this isn't the fluidity of saber maneuvers. This is the, I'm trying to grab somebody. I'm so angry. I'm trying to actually just wind up and grab this little human. Vader is also bigger after the mechanical legs. Just so anybody knows. Anakin is like 6'2", I think. Vader with the suit is like 6'5", 6'6", something like that. Which we can kind of see. Lock on, please. Thank you. He's turned away, so I'm going to get a couple of clean hits on his back. Oh, it's super satisfying to get a good hit in, though. When he pushes you away, the move is almost always going to either be book or thrown saber, which makes perfect sense because he's got distance. And I like the game using that kind of a logic too. The patterns make sense. Like they're not completely erratic. The first thing he does is show this new flurry. I'm gonna pull close. He's probably gonna start out with the new flurry. Why am I not getting health? There. That was an underextension, but luckily he wasn't facing me, so I'm okay. Ah, god dang it. Books. So you can see it's not the same kind. It's a dynamic pattern. It's not the same kind of a pattern as you would see in like a Mega Man game. It's an intuitive pattern. It's very weird about how the health is behaving, too. I'm getting the sound sometimes, but I'm not actually getting the health. Books. See how when he gets the distance, he's immediately, when he gets the distance between us, he immediately goes for a ranged attack, which is exactly what he should do. Which I think is great. And this is the part that I absolutely love. Check this out. And then just takes the saber down and is like, nope, not even worried about you. How great is that? Big baseball swings.
Most impressive.
Okay, I need about 2 more of those types of runs with the saber. Let's call them kata. That's underextended. You see, I can call the move before I screw up. Like, I called that when I screwed up before he killed me, because I was like, nope, that was it. Who would have thought that John B... Who would have thought you only visited the town of Silent Hill 3 in the game's last third? The town's called Silent Hill 3? I'm gonna go guns blazing here. No guns, just saber. They had to snap him to the cutscene there. One of the things also, if you ever have held a Darth Vader replica lightsaber, is they are super thick. There is a town called Silent Hill 3. I didn't know that. I knew there was a... I know there's a town of Silent Hill, and I knew there's a third Silent Hill game. There are many Silent Hill games. There's a fourth Silent Hill game called The Room. I have it. See if we can get a break. Yep. I gotta be careful about the super athletic move. Also, the ridiculously acrobatic moves are dangerous because they really open you up a lot. I'm trying not to be too many of the jumpy, swirly moves because he will absolutely just hack through it like an axe through a dormant tree. Who would have thought Silent Hill? Yeah, I'd say they do, but I think Silent Hill 4 is pretty solid. There we are. See, so I can use that acrobatic move there because that's his biggest break point. If he screws up on that move, that's his version of the overextension that I'm worried about. Guard hit, by the way, is the athletic move.
You have grown.
It's like, wow. Pulls me in close, and immediately again goes through this new kata. Not Bode's daughter. The thing that you call a series of sword exercises. No, he can just hit you out of it now. That's exactly what that is. Okay, didn't know that. I thought it was just I was choosing unfortunate moments. Yeah, that overextension was okay because his back was turned, thankfully. Gosh, dang it. Golly, it's such a difficult move. And those are absolutely, like, that series of chops, those are absolutely real, absolutely real sword moves, too. Those are absolutely based off of real Japanese swordsmanship, like actual katana use. I can't say that they're perfect, but like, because I don't know, I'm not trained with a katana, but I have absolutely seen katana-trained individuals. I have used a rapier. That is the one I know the most. Which is kind of a little bit more like what she's fighting with. Or the style a little bit. With those parries. With those thrusts. He's fighting like a katana and she's fighting like a rapier. And in terms of just one versus the other in raw format, katana is incredibly dangerous, but it usually is very telegraphed. It's a very powerful weapon, but it's not as easy to determine the move of someone using a rapier, because the move of somebody using a rapier is almost completely controlling the point, whereas a katana is using the edge, not as more than the point. Like in that right there, that's just a bit of, to use Nick Gillard, a bit of tree chopping. Oh, he got me. God dang it, I hate that move. Okay, I believe I can still use this while he's not on fire. It looks like the answer is yes. Okay. What an ending. I cannot believe the doctor regenerated. That has been happening for 40 years, though, now, so... Whoops. So you kind of get an idea. I'm doing it dangerous. I'm gonna try. Yep. May have paid off if I can back off on time. Yep. Also, kudos to the people who did the music for this. That theme is just such a good theme. Come on. And then boom. And I'm gonna go ahead and I hit him enough that I can take some damage, or give him some damage rather. He's gonna pull me in and go aggressive. Absolutely did. Even predicting it doesn't do any good sometimes because it's just what it is.
Your failure is inevitable.
That was the underextension. Good lord. I retracted that one because of a recent spoiler. That's alright. Alright, hold on. Let me take a look at something real quick. I'm only gonna give it a couple of more tries, then I'm gonna have to quit. Just because of the amount of time. I'm having a ton of fun doing this, but I'm running out of time. It's already almost 6:30. So we'll call this the last try, and then if not, we'll come back to this, because I'm really having fun, but it's also taking a lot of time. So you can see how much slower he is here, and how much easier that perfect parry is. Oh, I tried. That was my fault. See, that's that athletic move, and I didn't mean to do that. He's pulling... I was hoping that that would stop him because the block on the perfect parry. I probably should have used that health though there, because now he's going to use that first flurry now. Or I don't have the last health.
Waste time.
I gotta let go of the guard button much more quickly than that. Notice how I accidentally did the athletic move. I don't know how he still hit me in that, but okay. I need about 2 more runs that are like that.
I am your death, Master Junda.
Keeping medium distance or kind of staying in relatively close. Okay, I think that might have been the run. I believe that's it. We did it. By did it, I mean died. We missed him. Who would have known that my last one was my best one? I didn't think I was actually going to do it here. So she gave him a bit of a fight, but at the same time, I mean, he kind of is a little wobbly, but at the same time, he took her out. That's more that can be said that's more than can be said for Obi-Wan. And we're not probably actually holding her. This is Force Vision. Who would have thought Retro Room would beat Darth Vader on stream? Well, thank you. I honestly said it was going to be the last one, and I'm really happy that it worked out that way, you know? So you gotta remember, this was his mother figure. Or, you know, basically outside of the Order. What a good scene. What a good scene that is. Oh my goodness. Can you actually do an impression of the blow? I don't know who that is. Oh no, sad. I think it was really, really well done. I really, really love the fact that they got that in so well. Oh, BD. I feel like we would have been sad, we would have been very sad to have lost BD also. And remember, that was Grease's traveling companion for a very long time too. No, I don't think I have. Yeah, I don't think I have. I will look the scene up, though, to see if I can do an impression for you when I come on next time. I'll look at it immediately after this. So that's Eno Cordova and Sir Junda done. And Bode's still on the run. Yeah, please do. Oh, like a puppy. It's like sometimes he's in the way, but he's always
Take care
sweet.
of that?
Yeah. They're safe.
We'll find the proper place to bury him soon.
The remaining anchorites have scattered. The Empire pursues them. They may return at any moment. Seer bought enough time for BD1 to reach us with the contact codes for the hidden path.
Are those the only books we were able to
This
salvage?
is all that remains
Yeah.
of her archive.
Couldn't remember if that was what was said.
There's so close to a second chance.
I'm sure I could listen to it now, but to do to focus on the impression.
Tell me.
I mean, I can take. Let me.
How could Bode be a Jedi and be an
I'll give it a listen.
He is no Jedi.
I'll try it. See
Why
what
couldn't
happens.
we sense him?
He deceived us all.
No, I still should have been able to.
Now that's enough! Cal. That's enough, okay? What Bode did, that is on him. It's not on you. It's not on anyone. It's on him. We all know it's a rigged game, but we choose how to play.
It's a shame that there's not a bounty on his head. We could have hunted him with a guild tracker.
Locator beacon. It's how Bode reached us on Kobo.
Could it still be active?
Well, let's find out.
Nothing.
1 second. I bumped the microphone. Sorry about that.
Cal. The signal.
It's faint. BD, dial it in. Nova Garon system.
Let me see.
Why would Bode take a detour?
He's got a daughter. Maybe that's where she lives.
We could catch him there. This feels like a trap.
Yeah, it does. So what do you think? Do we risk it?
I don't see what choice we got.
For Seer and Master Cordova, I will mask our approach.
Okay. You two grab some seat. I got the con.
I don't know if I can do that kind of. It's kind of like a New Yorker, kind of like a New York, New Jersey type of thing. He's got kind of that. Oh, thank you, Mr. Blow, to picture for me. He's kind of got that to him, but his voice is higher pitched than mine. So I don't know. I tried a little bit though, a little bit better. I'll try more times and see if I get closer soon. By the next time I come in, but he's kind of got this like almost Jersey thing to him, and he's got a kind of a higher pitched voice. All right, we're gonna go ahead and rest. I think that's gonna be good. Take a look real quick at our saber. Why not? We've been using a green one. I think we're using gold accented greenwood gripped. I believe that's what we're doing. Let me look. And have we picked up any other? That's Jaro, patience, persistence, I think is what I'm using. If it's not, then that's what I like. Jaro to Paul Vince. Hermit. Yeah. Like those. Vince, patience. Jaro to Paul. Diligence, Rebel Hero, Hermit. I do like the patience. Harmony. Yeah, I like the Greenwood grip better than I like the wrapped one. That's the Hermit Pommel, which I love. Then the Harmony, and then we have I think that's good. What colors all do we have? We have green. Let's do purple. Purple is my favorite. Let's go purple. We tread the balance between the light and the dark. So let's purple it is. All right. Is that I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right, I think let's go ahead and get stuff to shut it down here. We'll go and put some music on. Take a second. We'll take the noise suppression filter off. Yeah, all right. I'm going to say thank you to everybody for popping into the stream, taking a peek, watching me struggle, watching me fight. It was a lot of fun. Huge thank you to Viddy, to Ash, to Fighting Max, and to OS. Was it Full Metal? Make sure I got it right. Fighting Max, Vidi, Ash, yeah, OS Full Metal. Okay, making sure I didn't miss it. Who would have thought Retro Room would end the stream with a thanks for watching? Well, thank you, Mr. Blow, to picture for me. It's the accent, but it's the pitch is wrong. I'll have to work on that. A huge thank you to you guys for popping in, and a thank you to everybody who pops in after the fact, after I've already gone live, or who may have popped in and decided to lurk a little bit. I had a lot of fun doing this one. I appreciate you guys being patient with me. It was good, though. It was just good to get to play a Star Wars game again. And, of course, I love Vader, so getting to see him and doing this, it was awesome. I do hope that if you guys are interested, if you guys are interested in what I'm doing, wonderful, I'm happy to have you. However, if you are interested in some of the things that I've done, and this one just doesn't have to be your cup of tea, please do feel free to take a look at the channels that I have linked below. My wife, the Siren Ivy, is down there, who has wonderful variety streams, and we'll be playing horror-specific games for October, along with whatever else might tickle her fancy. And then, of course, you also have Vidi's gaming videos and Vidi Plays, a wonderful backlog of both candid and scripted material. You have Omega Ace Gaming, who is playing through, I believe, Chronicles of the Wolf right now. Really, really cool to watch. Ash, for when his channel goes live, he usually does comedy and review-style videos, though he's not a reviewer by any stretch of the imagination, and I think he would appreciate me not saying that he is. And then, of course, you also have Thumbros and his speedrunning retro-style content on both Twitch and YouTube. He does speedrunning adjacent stuff, including community, and just a bunch of great retro gameplay, like playing Contra, or showing you how to speedrun Ninja Gaiden. It's really, really cool. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking it out. And of course, we have Fighting Max here. Fighting Max does a lot of, he's not done as much recently, but he did a lot of variety kind of PC-style games. The one that he showed me that I've recently picked up is Omori, which was a great playthrough. He's also played through the Phoenix Wright games, or some of the Phoenix Wright games on there. He's played through, I think it's Mechanarium, I think it was something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it was a really nice little point-and-click kind of puzzle-style adventure. Kind of introduces me to a lot of really neat and interesting games that I have picked up. So I highly recommend checking out all of those channels if you're interested. They have a huge backlog of great things to watch. Otherwise, I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful rest of your weekend, and for those of you south of the equator, a wonderful start to your week. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.